Man, I hate this shit. This is this new system they got. The YouTube Studio. The old way was so much easier. I have no idea what I just did and if I'm live or why I'm live. I rarely know why I'm live. And I've been talking to myself. I hate this for a while. Greetings to the Snow Bunny. So yeah, anyway, I was just talking about Sasha Grey. I'm following her on Twitch, and she's got 2,000 people following her, and she's looking good. And it's really
Turn the
weird.
wheel.
Look at this. She's playing
That's crazy.
some sort of a 3D Mario game. Looks like Luigi. And she's of Greek descent, former porn star. She fucked like a rabbit. And then she was done. Like, I don't think she's semi-retired. She just doesn't fuck. I'm sure she does in her private life. But back when I met her, she was 18 and was just had an ambition and a savvy about her. She wasn't getting used. She wasn't, I don't know, she was entrepreneurial right from the get go. That's why she hired me to make her website. Like, she wanted profit, a community, a brand, and she was smart about it, even when she was super young. And she had an older boyfriend, some black dude, who was getting, cucked beyond belief. But I'm sure he's out of the picture. He's got to be by now. And she talks and she has movie nights and she has a Discord. She's got 1.3 million followers on Twitter. Who knows on Instagram? Something crazy. So she probably has sponsorship deals and is just a personality. And she's monetized for being famous. Now she could do an OnlyFans. I mean, imagine that. She might be on there. So how many different revenue streams does this woman have? She wrote a book, I know. She did a little movie stuff. So she's probably sitting at a huge amount of wealth. And it's really a weird Peter Pan type zone that we enter into because she's not old by any stretch. I mean, she's got to be late 20s, I guess. Maybe mid to late 20s. I don't even know. But think of that. You have a house. You own a house. You have all sorts of money in the bank that's, it's being taken care of. It's making money for you. You're living off of the profits. And you have your youth, you have your health, you have international fame. And the question is, you wake up Monday morning, what do you want to do? Apparently, it's stick around with Luigi and watch movies. But she engages. She doesn't have to do any of this. This is literally a life of her choosing. So blank slate. People dream about this. You're at your terrible job and you think, God, if only I had independence. If only I could fashion the life that I want. But I'm left feeling a little bit weird because all of that freedom seems to be not good. Now I'm sounding like Jordan Peterson a little bit. I mean, you do need a structure. Imagine kids with pure freedom from the age 4 on. That's not going to work. Bedtimes are needed, rules, a regiment, schooling, just structure. Because without that, we just go to shit. Now look at this. Sasha Grey. Yeah, and I would go over to her house. She had a house when she was 18. She had a freaking home. It was massive out in the valley. And she has this sleepy eyed look. I don't know if you can see it here, where her eyes are always seductively sort of half open. It's a certain look. I mean, it could look stupid, but she pulls it off. And she has the symmetry in her face. Oh, she doesn't like this rat. She just killed it.
I've been shooting those mice,
Yeah, she called it a mouse.
not
It's kind
vacuuming
of big
them.
for a mouse.
Dang.
This game looks kind of cool, actually. Look at this set design. That's awesome. Textures and all that. Damn, games are so damn good nowadays. It's really
Dollar
crazy.
Tree.
The exponential growth of human development just in game development from, what was it, Galaga? Galaxa? What is Galaga? Why do I want to say Galaga? It surely has to be something with the galaxy. Galaxa? That doesn't sound right. What the fuck was the name of that game? Anyway, Pac-Man. I played Pac-Man the other day. It was on Google's homepage. they had the word Google, but it was like a Pac-Man screen, and I played it, and I won. I mean, I'm not trying to. That's not a weird flex. I mean, it's kind of easy to win, but I thought, damn, that game. It took a huge chunk of my consciousness as a child. Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man. Like, there's something riveting about games. It's just like this challenge, and it's out there. And now there's so many challenges. Just I don't know. We just have that ambition to dive into something where there's an obstacle, there's a problem. Oh, I get to be engaged? Okay, I'll try that. I guess we're good at that problem solving. I mean, I'm playing chess all the time, but maybe I should expand and try some of these games. I'm literally so boomered out, I don't even know how to get this game. In my mind, I need to buy a game console. Like I'm sure there's another way, but I mean, this is so weirdly
What?
innocent. And I've seen this girl like have
Donuts and money?
hundreds of loads dropped in her mouth, on her ass, cream pie. I mean, you name it, she's done it. But what an interesting life she's got going. And what a smart move to get out of porn. That's the way to go. That's what I did. All alone, come my phone, make it feel right. I used to make porn websites for people, and that was my thing. But today we're here for another thing. And what's the name of this video? Black Vosh cringes at my waisism. Correct. Sometimes I do searches, very rarely, but I do a search on my name, Atheism is Unstoppable. And, I look visually, I look at the thumbnails because I'm a visual type of guy. And if I don't see a thumbnail I recognize, I instantly go, what is that? Why is that? And so I came across this dude, and he did a video. Here it is. He calls it Atheism is Unstoppable thinks being black is a criminal offense. And he spelled offense with a C, and yet he doesn't have an accent. So I don't know what that's about. I downvoted it, but I've seen it. I haven't seen all of it. I just got the gist of it. It's 40 minutes. I was going to try to go over it right now. 0 comments, which is odd because I know that the 11 people that downvoted it would have left a comment. So he might be curating his comments here. This is a Twitch guy, not a big following, 99 subscribers, but a bitch ain't one. Goes by the name Shark3. Oh God, Shark. What is that? Sharkbo0? Shark Boy. I don't understand Zoomer grammar. Anyway, he's got a skin condition. It's neither here nor there. A nappy-headed high top. Is that what that is? No real fade here. He's a little bit quarantine right there with that. Now, I'm not sure if this is an ink blot test, like a Rorschach thing, but let me zoom in on that. What I see is a dude fucking a chick. Do you guys see that? Now, I'm trying to think of what else that could be. Maybe a frog? A frog with this is one eye, that's another eye. He's kind of like looking at us cockeyed, tilting his head. But I'm pretty much seeing a black woman here and a dude banging her doggy style. Now, you tell me if I'm going crazy or not. This looks like some sort of Afro calendar. So we got a guy, and he's all about it, and he's trying to rise up. He's moving on up to the blotchy skin side. No, but he has commentary, and he has accusations, and they will fly, and I will face criticism. This is in reference to my Ahmaud Arbery video. I think the first one, maybe the second one. No, I think it's the first one. So let's dive in. He's cringing. He cringes at me. And yeah, it's time for me to face the music and deal with the consequences of the stupid racist things I've been saying online. So get ready for me to be shamed and embarrassed, and potentially this could be my retirement from the internet. Game on.
When we get these sorts of shootings, when we have these sorts of issues that go on,
what do you mean these sorts of? This is going to take 5 hours. These sorts of shootings. This shooting is really unique. A citizen's arrest and a guy goes for his gun. Have I ever seen that before? Has anyone? I don't think anyone's seen that. So the fact that he's lumped it all together, because the only variable he is concerned with is black man shot by white man, which again is dog bites man. So, I mean, you have to know that just the topic of this is already everything. That's all you need to know is why are we even talking about this? So don't get bogged down with the details. Oh, what was on the surveillance tape, and what does the video show, and you know, what is the law about the thing, and the no. Zoom back and understand that. Look, he's already shown his hand. The fact that when we see black people being shot by white people, okay.
People, the most degenerate, disgusting people, will start to crawl out of the woodwork.
That's me. It's ironic coming from this guy in this face. I am a degenerate and disgusting person, and I've crawled out of the woodwork. Crawling out of the woodwork doesn't seem to be a very confident maneuver. I am loudly broadcasting my opinions and have been for over 6 years from the top of a building, and I'm signing my name to it. So I wouldn't exactly saying crawled out of the woodwork. As far as disgusting, I have my moments, and thank God you are not there to witness those moments. But yeah, when I had Corona, I was truly disgusting. Like my smell, and just the odor and the sweat, and yeah, it was rough.
To justify literal murder at all costs.
Justifying literal murder is the accusation. So we got a dude Steel Manning here.
You saw this with the Trayvon Martin shooting. The only thing was,
George Zimmerman, aside from being an asshole, he had a total legal claim. That's why he got let off. I mean, the law is the law. And if you are being beaten on savagely, you have the right to defend yourself. Now, because there's no video of that, we don't know if, how savage was the beating, for example. I mean, he had physical evidence and his testimony, but, it's very likely that the guy was beaten on by Trayvon Martin. We know that's what happened. But let's say Trayvon beat on him and then was walking away and then got shot. Of course, that didn't happen because of the physical evidence of where the bullets were and whatnot. So, did he have to shoot him? Probably not. Did he have to carry a gun? No. I mean, guns escalate things. This has been my point from day one. It's not even in dispute. It's not controversial. If you have a gun, you just up your chances at things becoming fatal. I mean, it's obvious.
And they went, oh, Zimmerman, all we have is his testimony.
It looks like something blew up in his face. Like, I don't know what's going on, but is he peeling it off? Did he get sunburned? Does it change over time? I don't know. I'm not sure if I don't understand the condition.
We have no clue what happened.
But he's getting whiter and whiter, so we're watching him morph into having more privilege.
Could have been right. And very, very curious how the only other person who was there to witness what happened is dead.
Why is it curious that there were 2 people involved in an event? And by the way, there were ear witness testimony. So there were other people who heard a dude screaming for help. And there was some dispute as to who it was Zimmerman or Trayvon. Like they tried to paint the victim narrative that Trayvon was screaming for help. Fat chance. Zimmerman was fat, in fact.
I don't know what happened that night. No one does either. Besides,
oh please, yeah, no one knows. But you have your theory. I mean, we have evidence, and we don't need to be omniscient. That's not how science works. That's not how law works. It's not how logic works. You don't need everything. We can deduce. We can induce. We can induce childbirth.
Zimmerman himself, and he got away. Right, he lives a pretty terrible life now, thankfully. But he got away. We have a video of what happened. We have lots of evidence that has like come dripping out over the last couple, while.
Over the last couple while. Would that be 2 whiles? Wile E. Coyote.
And people are still doing the exact same song and dance. They're crawling out of the woodwork to try and justify murder.
Like, I'm not sure if I would have this picture on the wall if I was broadcasting. especially not right next to my face. Like, this is part of your brand now.
For the laughs, right? I don't know what else these people want besides just like to see minorities die.
Is that really the emotional place he's coming from? I don't know what these people want other than to see minorities die. So wait, when white people become the minority in like a year, does that mean I want to see white people die because we're a minority? Of course, we're still going to be the majority minority, but no, no one wants to see minorities die. No one wants death. Stop being a frigging absurd tool. Look at this reactionary chud. I'm speaking their language. I got to communicate to the pansexual, polyamorous, brony, anime-loving, degenerate fuckface.
And that's sad. But one of the people who are doing this, you know, the classic names are doing this. The Crowders, you know, the
Steven Crowder, Republican, Trump guy.
Shapiro's, the
I mean, he's not like full-on Trump guy. He's not Hannity, but I mean, he's definitely on Trump's side. Shapiro, Ben Shapiro, UCLA grad, but Republican, Trump guy. Go ahead.
the
Also not a full-on Trump guy. Who was he for in the primary? I forget. Anyway.
The Molyneux,
Molyneux, right-wing, Republican, Trump guy.
the Tim Pools,
Tim Pool, cunt, hobbit, dwarf, bald, worst kind of bald, afraid to admit he's bald. What is he? A mutt? He's some sort of a... Tim Pool is a grifting scumbag. He's a little dwarfish, impish cunt boy. And he's on the right. He definitely sucks Trump's cock every day of his life.
the Dim Tools, you know.
Yeah, Dim Tool.
You know, all of these people are going to try to say, you know, make up a lot of stuff to say that.
I make that point because he is literally lumping me in with that group and not spotting the difference. So you have to be nuanced, bro. And you got to realize I have nothing to do with those guys. And I have a ton of disagreements with those dudes. So what does this case have to do with political affiliation? But that's how they view the world. It's us versus them. And if you are on the wrong side of this narrative, which is Ahmaud Arbery was a jogger and those evil white racists, they just murdered him. They lynched him. If you don't subscribe to that, then you're other. You've just been otherized. And we're going to lump you in with Ben Shapiro and Tim Pool and Stefan Molyneux. I mean, so the issue doesn't mean anything. It's the team. What is your team?
Oh, this guy. I remember back in 7th grade.
Is this guy going to pull out or is he going to finish on her back? Like, is there a tattoo? Is there a target? A drop zone?
We got a note from a 7th grade teacher that he never did his homework. So
him never doing his homework is probably true, but not really relevant. A criminal history would be relevant if we're assessing whether or not the man's a criminal. Spot the difference?
was he really that, you know, chill, dog.
Was he really that innocent? Yeah, his innocence is kind of up for debate. That's one of the major points. It's not the most important point, ironically, because I don't care if he was a burglar or not. He's dead because of what he did in terms of the gun. Charging a man and attacking a man, assaulting a man with a gun is what led to his death. So you can be a crybaby all you want, but hashing out whether or not this guy is a robber, by the way he is not the point. The point is, look at this. Is that not the exact same thing as Vosh? He modeled this pink bitch-ass color with the logo right there? Or is that just something Twitchers all do? The guy's just redundant. He's a fake.
One of the people who's put a lot of effort into trying to spin a narrative.
I'm spinning a narrative.
Of trying to believe.
Right. I'm off the jogger narrative.
That this person's life was forfeit due to some weird actions that they may have.
He said doo-doo.
Done in their past. In this specific scenario, atheism is unstoppable.
It's hard to say. Yeah, try it at home. Very difficult. You know, you think it's easy. It's 3 words. You're familiar with all the words, but then you run up to it and it's like atheism. And it's because atheism is unstoppable. Atheism is unstoppable. You have to reset your mouth. The words don't flow together. So Don't think you could just run up and say it. It's way harder than that. Atheist Unstoppable 2 asserts he repeatedly broke into houses. There's just no evidence of that. Oh my God, we have a guy coming in. Shots fired. No evidence aside from all the video evidence. Yeah. Isn't Devin bald? Got me. You got me. Yeah, so is Phil Anselmo, although he does have hair. Yes, I am bald and proud. And again, I highlight the main difference, which is I'm not hiding the fact that I'm bald. I mean, go look at pictures of me if you want. If you want to go to my OnlyFans. Can you hear that dog in the background? So these people are pretending that this guy is not a thief. First of all, he's a thief before this day. Second of all, he's been seen. Eyewitnesses saw him. But we'll get into that. Jump back in.
I'm almost never heard of this man before in my entire life.
Mm.
He's one of those.
And what are you, like 16? You've never heard of me, and yet you've heard of me, and you're talking about me. Okay.
Cringy relics from the anti-SJW
I'm a relic.
skeptosphere day.
Right. So I like how anti-SJW is a phase. Is that a fad? So SJWs are cool now? No, they're a beaten horse. I mean, the only reason not to beat them further is because you're beating a dead horse. But yeah, SJWs are laughable. They are to be mocked. They are pathetic. They're losers. They're fucking idiots. So yeah, I'm proudly anti-SJW. That's the position to take now and forever. So I like that.
Where he used the really weird avatar in a suit. This time
I have an avatar in a suit, and that makes me weird. Right. So what percentage of people online use avatars? Would you rather I just, be a cam boy? You want me to be like cat boy? Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that choice.
Avatar is also in a suit. He also blinks. So please try your best not to look at the kangaroo. It's
Blinking is a problem for him.
really off-putting.
Well, you blink, boy. So is that off-putting? Look at your fucking face.
At all points in time. But he also has apparently what seems to be the ball sack of an African elephant stitched over.
No, actually, if you knew the history of that, it would be way worse. That is a Rorschach mask from the latest season of, what's it called? Watchmen, which was, I guess, one and done, which kind of is crazy and sucks. And it was the mask worn by a group of white supremacists. So a little dog whistle for all the white supremacists out there.
For his face. So I have no clue what's going on here. He's really weird. But what's more important than
it's weird when people don't think like me.
His absolute cringiness is his outright racism. Right? I was looking for some videos to talk about on stream the other night because I did want to do a little stream. I have some time off of work. I'm at home.
Wait till you see the gotchas, man. Oh, by the way, what's your job? What do you do for a living?
At the moment, so I decided I want to pump out a couple more streams, talk to my chat, because I love you all, and go over a couple of topics that I've been, having to.
Yeah, this dude's trying to be like a streaming personality. He's in the infancy stages of that process, but I'm not sure if he's going to make it.
Put off. And I found this video. I accidentally stumbled upon this video, and I was distraught. It was crazy. Not only is it an hour long, this is the...
It's crazy to make an hour-long video, says a guy who just made a 41-minute video. What does that even mean? I mean, this guy probably streams for 10 hours in a row. Hey, this guy talked about something and provided entertainment. Yeah, that video has almost 40,000 views. I mean, this is my job, bro. I make entertainment.
The most, outright racism that I've ever seen from someone.
Outright racism. Can you believe it? This kid has figured me out. I'm about to be exposed. Are you guys nervous?
Who, doth protest that they are definitely not racist.
If you protest when being accused of being racist, like I am right now, we have a young bitch calling me a racist. I'm saying I'm not a racist. So now already the framing, I get it. You're already playing a game that is set up for you to lose. It's just like, fuck you. You're a fucking racist. You pig ignorant bitch. So we can just, hurl accusations and insults back and forth. But the point is, if you say you're not, then you are. That's evidence that you are. I mean, wow. This is like the Salem witch trials. Are you a witch? No. That's exactly what a witch would say. Drown her.
Incredible to me, what this man has gone through. I'm not sure where the TOS stands on watching a guy get shot to death, but I'm going to assume that I cannot show it on Twitch.
What? Because Wile E. Coyote? He doesn't get shot to death. He just falls off a cliff.
So we skipped past this part. As you can see, we've gone to 12 minutes in the video. We've gone to 12 minutes in the video because he just went over all of the information that I think most people would know. You know, Aubrey was out and about. The assailants.
Out and about? Yeah, out and about for a little home invasion. No biggie. And an assault.
Chased after him in a truck.
Even though he ran up on the truck and then sprinted and lunged at the dude. But yeah, chased. Interesting.
He was shot. He died. He just finished watching the video. We're not going to see any more of the video from the segment that we're going to watch here. I am absolutely not going to watch this 1 hour video. I care about myself and everybody else who stumbles upon this chat a little bit more than that, to expose them to such.
But you did watch it. I mean, you go over the bulk of it right now, and you watch the first 12 minutes, and you've watched the entire thing. I mean, these weak, limp-dicked attempts at insults, it's just so sad. I mean, look, the guy's brain is not fully developed, so this is like shooting fish in a barrel, but come on.
Radioactive stupidity. But we're going to go over this part. And to give a little bit of context of what's going on here is he just showed Ahmaud Arbery falling over dead in the middle of the street after having
Ahmaud Arbery's dead. He died, and it's his fault.
Hole blown through his chest with a shotgun, and he's now going to compare it to a Wile E. Coyote skit.
Yeah, the comparison was he was punching. It was dead man punching, is I believe what I said. He was dead. He didn't know it yet, and that made me think of Wile E. Coyote. Don Quixote? Wile E. Coyote, who runs off the cliff, doesn't realize he's in a massive amount of trouble until he looks down and goes, oh shit, there's no ground beneath me. So that was the whimsical comparison I made. And yeah, fuck your faux seriousness about this kid, Ahmaud Arbery, who nobody knows. I mean, the point is not to talk about the personal life and tribulation of Ahmaud Arbery, a random person on a planet with like 7.5 billion people.
Unironically.
Yeah, zero irony in this.
Here we go.
I mean, all of this is like Wile E. Coyote.
Whoa. Here we go.
Beautiful.
We're going to slow it down a little.
Yeah, because, you have Asperger's and you got to speed through shit because that's just, you're so important. Your time is amazing. What is your hourly rate?
A bit.
He just ran off the cliff and is just waiting to discover that there's no ground underneath him. Okay, and so there you have it. Now, let's speak to our Facebook friends. How should I rephrase this?
So, that was incredibly, distasteful.
So what? What am I supposed to be tasteful? What am I giving a eulogy for Ahmaud Arbery? I don't know this person. I don't care. I'm not here to talk about Ahmaud Arbery and pretend like this is some personal tragedy that affects me. It's ridiculous.
Can you even imagine, like, the disrespect to a person?
Disrespect? Why should I respect? Why should I respect this person? Why? I'm commenting on the buffoonery around the commentary of people trying to make this into something it isn't. The people with inferiority complexes like you, blacks like you, and also whites. There's a fucking shit ton of whites who I cannot stand who try to turn this into something it isn't, namely a lynching. And they don't give credit to Ahmaud Arbery. I respect Ahmaud Arbery to acknowledge that he made a choice. He could have gone right. He could have gone into the woods. Go off the road if you're so worried about cars chasing you. That seems like a bright idea, doesn't it? No, he could have stopped and talked. No, but instead he picked up a weapon at some point. Wait till that information comes out. The guy on the 911 call, the guy in the back of the truck was like, put it down, put it down. I believe he had a hammer. He had something in his hand. There's something in the video that's lying on the street. It might have been that. So that's not on script. That's not part of the narrative, but it is what happened. And Ahmaud Arbery attacked and lunged and grabbed a gun and punched a dude. And based off his prior behavior, this is right in line with what he does. He doesn't respect authority, and he makes stupid choices, like stealing shit, like being a criminal, like calling a cop a bitch and a boy.
Street. Oh, look, a Wile E. Coyote skit. Look at him. Look at his dead body wriggle around until he falls to the ground. Wow, dude. Incredible. So much for the tolerant right.
So do you see that? I'm on the right. I am now on the right. How am I on the right? I am in the right, as in I am correct. But isn't that weird that he needs me to be on the right in order for this to make sense? It's fascinating.
Let me speak to my family, if my family was watching this. Or how about...
Oh, and by the way, I post all my shit to Facebook. And my sister, my father, my high school friends and shit, they all see where I stand on this. So I don't know where you are with that. I'm pretty sure that you are probably secretive and don't express yourself as openly as you could. I'm not like that. Okay. I've reached the point where I just have zero fucks to give.
What's another way to phrase this? Women. Let me speak to you as if you are a woman watching this.
Oh, mind you, he's actually incredibly misogynistic as well.
This is ridiculous. How is that misogyny? So again, just buzzword. There's no argument. There's no logic to it. I'm calling out the behavior of women, which is, backed by every study ever done on this. I mean, women, their sense of empathy, the way women would view a case like this, their tendencies, their patterns, it goes without saying. This is how they view things like this. They take the path of least resistance, they avoid confrontation, and they just say things to appear nice. Why? Because they need the society to not ostracize them. They have to be liked and accepted by society. So don't rock the boat. You see a guy die, oh, that's a tragedy. Oh, terrible. Excuse me, milady, but are you aware that that was an act of self-defense and that it was actually the black dude who initiated that and attacked the white man? The victim of that scenario is Travis McMichael. Do you comprehend that? No. There's a dead black, and I don't like slavery. Okay, go back in the kitchen. You're not meant for this.
As well, I had no clue, but until I watched this video. But
and let me just specify. That is said with tongue in cheek, and that's not all. Obviously, not all women fit this description, but it is the majority. It is the majority. So whenever you hear a not all, the point is not done when you just say not all. The point is it's a number and it's not 0 and it's not 100. Let's talk about it. The number is huge. I would say it's in the 90 percentile, 90 or above. Women, I guarantee you I can predict what they think on every issue coming down the pipeline. Okay? That's why my channel has 93% men on it. Why do you think that is? Why do you think channels that are non-controversial, that don't deal with the ugly side of life, why do those channels get women? You don't think that there's a biological element, a personality trait at play here, characteristics that women embody that would make them make that choice? Of course there are. Dumb bitch. Go back to school.
What he thinks about women is also kind of sketch, but
No, again, it's truth. I'm speaking the truth about that situation. Go do a poll on it. Do a poll. Do the research yourself. This is not a new concept. This is actually rather basic, and it's embarrassing that you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
We're gonna moonwalk past that at the very moment.
Ooh, a black reference, moonwalk. Cool.
Because we have more things to talk about.
No.
Oh, also we hate women here. I'm tolerant. Thank you, Devil Dog. I know you're tolerant. I love you.
I realize that there are some men that embody the same characteristics.
Look at him trying to kiss the ass of his audience, his little fan base.
As women. We affectionately refer to them as pussies.
Yeah, pussies.
But we understand there's different nature, there's different biological impulses. A lot of women have a lot of empathy. A lot of that empathy is misfiring. Doesn't know what to do.
Doesn't know what to
watched
do.
a man get killed. Why are we talking in like angry tones? Shouldn't we be sad?
Yeah, well, let me answer that, Devin. No, we shouldn't be sad because we're not here to dramatize this event and pretend like we are the best friend / mother / father / whatever to Ahmaud Arbery. I mean, what is this, a soap opera? We are here to discuss the legal ramifications and what these people are trying to do, which was take this way beyond an encounter between Travis McMichael and Ahmaud Arbery and turn it into some societal thing. This is all white people. This is whiteness. This is attached to a legacy of race. Bullshit. There's no evidence of any of that. All of that is nonsensical. And that's why I treat this as with a dark sense of humor, with gallows humor, because fuck, I don't know these people and I don't care. What I care about is what people are trying to do. Race vultures like you are trying to fucking turn this into something that it's not for your own purposes, which is, quite frankly, a race war, at the bare minimum, racial division. And it's pathetic. So it's worthy of our scorn, our contempt, and our mockery.
Okay, women, I am sad that a man is dead. I am against death.
Yeah, I bet you are, bud.
See that? So
For
now
women,
I'm giving the caveat. This is me going out of my way to address pussies. And I say the exact thing he would want me to say. He just criticized me for not caring about this kid. And I go, okay, if you want for a moment for me to pretend like this is just about me witnessing the death of a 25-year-old. And I go, I'm against death. I'm sorry the man is dead. He had a life that's now not going to be lived. This is sad. It's a tragedy. I feel for his family and friends. So that's me being serious. But that's not the point. I'm not going to get online and be like, hey, here, let me try it right now. Today in Brazil, a person died of corona. Now, the person's name was probably Tiago Alves. Tiago Alves had a wife, and he had children, and he had grandparents, and a whole network of people who loved him and supported him. I would like to let you know, whoever's listening to this, that I, Devin Tracy, of the Pacific Palisades, the official ambassador of the white race, I feel bad for the family of Tiago Alves, and I'm saddened, and I'm against coronavirus, and it's just a terrible thing, and we really need to fix it. And look, my hearts and prayers, my thoughts, my well wishes, I extend that to the family. And if there was a GoFundMe, I'd probably donate, or at least tell you I was about to donate. It's all just very sad. I mean, what is the point of that? People, can you not recognize that that's self-serving and ridiculous? So I don't know if you're not on my level or even capable of getting to my level, but we are way past that, dude. Way past that. And this guy's like, yeah, sure you care about Ahmaud. Wait, you care about Ahmaud? Excuse me, what? Why the fuck do you care about Ahmaud? You don't know the guy. What, because he's black? So wait, do you care about black people more than white people? Is that what you're telling me? I mean, this is fucking absurd. Why aren't you doing videos on the thousands of other murder cases that come out? You don't. You don't think that's a valid question? Like, hey, why didn't you cover the white kid that just got shot up by a freaking black in Charlotte? You didn't cover that? You don't care. We're not going to do thoughts and prayers on that? No, fuck off.
women, oh women, I sympathize with the family members.
Also, apparently being sensitive to people getting gunned down in the street is now like a feminine trait.
Yes. It is a feminine trait when you are exaggerating it. And so that's my point, is who are you kidding, pretending like this is like the point of commenting on this? I mean, this case is being leveraged and used for nefarious political purposes. And by racist assholes like you, people riddled with inferiority complexes. And yes, it's not the point. It's absurd. It's completely absurd. How is it that we navigate through our days and through our lives? We look at the news, we see, oh, death, there was a typhoon here, there's an earthquake here, there was a plane in Pakistan, had 100 people on it. It went down. They're all dead. You guys want to do a moment of silence? You didn't already? You didn't do a moment of silence for the 100 people in Pakistan on that plane. Interesting. So the question is, why on earth would we sit here and act like we're at a funeral? We're not at a funeral. This is irrelevant. Grow up. Be an adult. Be mature. We're not talking about the personal tragedy for the family of frigging Ahmaud Arbery. And by the way, it was his fault he's dead.
Apparently. I don't know about any of you guys if you like to
God, when I get on these flows, it's such wreckage. Like I can even hear myself. I'm like a fly on the wall. I'm like a fan of myself. Is that weird? I have 3 mirrors set up. One's on the ceiling. And I'm naked. I mean, I'm not sure. That's always how I stream. So I don't know if you were aware of that. And it's hard to do. I have to buy the mirrors. The Airbnb didn't come with the mirrors. Okay?
Watch innocent people be tortured to death or something.
Innocent people be tortured to death is the Steel Man. That's the Steel Man. Devin, are you into innocent people being tortured to death for pleasure? Correct, Black Vosh. You got me.
Something. Me, if you enjoy that like old Roman gladiator style combat.
I do enjoy the movie Gladiator, and I think they're making a sequel. Ridley Scott, white man.
I personally don't like to watch it. Maybe that just makes me a beta male. I'm not sure.
No, you're a beta male for a variety of other reasons, but whatever. You're probably a gay. I mean, so we could start there.
I think of their pain. I think of a young man's life that is now wasted.
And I have Schindler's List playing in the background, which is, for comedic effect, because the Holocaust, get it? And yes, I think of a young man's life. Like, this is, I could be this guy. That's the point I'm trying to illustrate. There's a side of me, if let's say I ran into Ahmaud Arbery's mother, do you think I'm going to be like, whatever, he was a punk and a thug and fuck him? No, obviously I'd show empathy to her, and there's a time and a place, and it's just not appropriate to be, disrespectful or, cruel. I would call that being cruel. I'm not talking to those people. They don't watch my videos. I'm aware of that. So the fact that he's holding me to the standard like I'm giving a eulogy at Ahmaud Arbery's funeral is very fucking strange.
I love this virtue signaling.
Horrible.
He calls this virtue signaling. The entire video is me just blasting Ahmaud Arbery and holding him to account. And then I show the empathy he wants me to show, and he calls it a virtue signal. So I am giving a red pill sandwich. Okay, so it's start with red pill. In the middle, I give a little bit of meat to this audience where I say, look, I am a human being. I'm against death, but it is this man's fault he is dead. So let's not lose track of that. It's like a heroin addict. You tell me there's a heroin addict and he overdosed. What's my reaction going to be? Well, who am I talking to? You're talking to the heroin addict's mother. Well, I'm going to tell that mother, your son was a flame out and a loser, and it's his fault he's dead. Am I going to say that to his mother? No, I'm not. But is that true? Yes, it is true. So you got to know who you're talking to. All things can be true. You got to pick your battles and know when to say what you want to say. I mean, it's not like one size fits all.
Murder is terrible.
But my point is, the virtue signaling that he does, which is, he's criticizing me for not being empathetic. And when I do show empathy, he goes, oh, fuck you. You're just bullshitting, and that's just virtue signaling. It doesn't make sense. You're living in a world of conflict. This is cognitive dissonance.
Why did that man shoot him? I am angry. We should send flowers. I hate violence. Blood scares me. I don't want anyone to die. Now let's go get a glass of wine and take a nap. Okay? Now that I have satiated that section of the crowd, I will remind you, we don't know this man, we don't know his family. For us to speak on any sort of emotional level is a ridiculous performative bullshit act. No one buys it. Thousands of people die.
That is the true virtue signal, is people that speak about Ahmaud Arbery like he was their long-lost brother. It's crazy. And they do that, and their need to do that blinds them to every truth about this case.
Every day, I don't give a
So in other words, much like a woman, emotion trumps reason. Otherwise, Ben Shapiro refers to that as feelings over facts, I guess. It's inverted, but yeah. That's the whole idea. So am I in a therapy session? Are we here to discuss feelings? Or are we here to be logical and talk about the implications of this case? Who is to blame, and what are we to make of this? What can we take from this situation?
shit that you saw the footage of this one. You need to get a grip and understand that you are being
That dog is fucking crazy right now. What is its problem?
highly and ridiculously selective, in which cases you're choosing to emote about.
What do you expect everyone at all points in time in the day to be like privy to every single like killing that goes on in the country at any?
Another Steelman. Man, this guy's just giving me the benefit of the doubt. He's coming with good faith. Yes, that's exactly what I said. Everyone should be aware of every murder at all times of the day. I mean, verbatim, I think. Didn't I say that? Someone rewind the tape. Clip it. No, but you should have a general understanding that there are literally millions of cases. You are cherry picking the cases you choose to talk about, and there's a very explicit reason for that. And I'm aware of the reason. So again, I'm operating at a level that you're just not comfortable with. And I mean, this is like Magnus Carlsen playing a dude who's ranked 1500 in chess. It's just like, this is child's play.
At any point in time, like not every killing is going to be like high rank, like up
Like,
there.
high ranked. Why is it high ranked? Can I ask that question? I mean, better than a good answer is a good question. And I think I just asked one. Why is a Ahmaud Arbery? Who gives a shit about a Ahmaud Arbery? Who fucking cares? Do you know how many people have been killed since this happened? All of those are insignificant? It's not high ranking? Yeah. I do not grant the authority of other dipshits on this planet to tell me what is important and what I should focus on. And that's a key difference between scrubs like this and people like me.
With all of the news, there's just too much going on. Only some things are going to be pushed up to the top, and there's lots of things that go into it. Like maybe you think like the liberal media is pushing. There's lots of things that go into it.
What? Lots of things. It's too confusing. Just don't worry about it. Yeah, it's all invalid. It's obviously a ploy. It's obviously anti-white bigotry. That's what we're witnessing. This is all fueled by racism coming from you people, not all.
I don't understand this argument of, well, you didn't get mad at this one person who died that you didn't know, that you didn't see
Why don't you get that argument? That's perfectly valid argument.
anything about, but this national news story that's literally everywhere at all points in time, you're invested in this one? Huh, very typical. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the fact that you don't cover murders of white people, which happen way more. Actually, that might be true. And it's not true because black people commit a bunch of murder and they tend to kill other black people. So per capita, not true. But again, who cares about per capita when you're talking about your nation? There are more white people being murdered overall, I would say. Just like there are more poor people. There's twice as many poor people in America who are white than black. So, yeah, I mean, even like cop killings. Remember the past few years, like, oh, the cops are killing blacks. The cops kill more whites than blacks by a large margin. So, yeah, it's just insane. It says everything about your choices. And this guy's hiding under the thing of, well, everyone else is talking about it, so why shouldn't I talk about it? Like, don't question my motives. It's all bullshit, man. We see through this.
Duel Links is on the books in Iowa. I personally think it's an underutilized tool in the political system. Yeah, only if like McConnell and Bernie Sanders could duke it out with rapiers on the like Senate floor. That would be kind of sick. Honestly,
This guy geek or what?
I'm for it.
Save it. No one cares. Now, what issues could you have with this? Well, let's backtrack. First of all, you got to understand that these guys were not out rolling the street for no reason. They were trying to catch a home invader.
No,
Yes.
they were trying to
Yes.
catch
Huh?
this random guy.
A random guy. There it is. Random. I mean, that is the most indefensible thing in the history of fucking time. This is the same guy that Travis McMichael called 911 about days or a couple weeks prior. He saw this dude. He had an encounter with him. This guy is a repeat offender in that neighborhood. All right? He knows him by sight. It's the exact opposite of random. So in their perfect world, this story is a couple white guys just went out and randomly killed a black guy. And that's the way it was portrayed. Many people framed it like that. And it's not true. It's not true. They're looking for a burglar. They're looking for a guy who is suspicious, who's trespassing, who is acting in an incredibly shady manner in their neighborhood. And this went on for weeks. They found him. They found the guy. That's not random. Sorry.
Listen, okay.
And by the way, if it was random, if it were to be random, this would bolster their case that blacks are victims. We are innocent and we're just being hunted down for no reason because we didn't do. Because if we did do, then it wouldn't be random, would it? There'd be a reason for it. And the reason would be that Ahmaud Arbery was a criminal. Now, we got to avoid that. The story cannot start with Ahmaud Arbery is a criminal. And that led to a chain of events which culminated in Ahmaud Arbery deciding to attack a man with a gun and getting shot. Okay, that is the bookends of this story. Black crime, dude reached for a gun, got blasted for it. Okay, plain and simple, put a bow on it, not hard to decipher, use your fucking brains. Use them. Oh, but Devin, aren't you a Democrat? Yes, and I'm also not blind, and I'm also smart, and I also have integrity, and I believe in reality. So that's the reality of this case. If it doesn't make you feel good, go to another story. Let's talk about the guy who wrestled for the taser. Remember that black dude? And then he ran away and got shot in the back with a gun, which was totally illegitimate for the cop to have done. Yeah, that guy was victimized. Do you want to talk about that? Should we wallow in that victimhood? Let's try to take that case where the cop shot the black in the back and extend it, extrapolate it. Maybe there's more to it. Maybe it wasn't just that cop shooting that guy and making that mistake and going to prison for it. Maybe it's a societal statement or trend. Maybe it represents something bigger. See, this is where the bullshit, the shenanigans come into play. And this is where I step in and start whack-a-moling everyone.
He said it himself. He tried to catch a home invader.
Yes.
This man walked onto a construction site.
It's a home. It's a house. You're not allowed to go inside. This is a crime. What do you think he's doing in there? What do you think he's doing there multiple times, day and night, over an extended period of time? Oh, and by the way, he's a known criminal. So, I mean, dude, who the fuck are you kidding with this? How did you kid yourself with this line? He's obviously perpetrating and in violation of the law. Now, let me explain something to you. Grab a sip of Wawa. Here's what could have happened and should have happened. He should have stopped when these dudes were citizen arresting him. If that had happened, the cops would have shown up a few minutes later. He would have been detained. He would have been brought to jail under suspicion of burglary. Video evidence would have surfaced. There would have been a trial. He would have been out on bail, probably. In the trial, let's say he's found guilty. Maybe he has a good lawyer. And they go, look, there's no hard evidence he stole anything. Now, even though cars were broken into, there was a gun that was stolen, other homes. So it wasn't just this construction site, which is not a construction site, it's a home being developed. And he has no right whatsoever to be in there. Even if he's charged with something like petty theft, he's looking at what? A slap on the wrist? Probation? I mean, he doesn't have a massive criminal history. Maybe they would be lenient, So the point is, this is not, some homicide that he had just committed. It was, in the grander scheme of things, a non-serious thing. He wasn't raping people. Now, he did perform an assault. So, his final act as a human being was definitely a misdemeanor by punching a dude. He had no right to do that. He did that. That was insane, an insane choice. This is just like when the Palestinians attack Israeli, or the security guys or army dudes, the IDF, and they charge with a knife at an IDF dude, and the IDF dude shoots them. And it's like, what can we make of that? What about what just happened are you unclear about?
Right? He walked onto a construction site.
Walked in,
That's it.
Just innocent,
That's
totally.
all he did.
All he did, right. So, first of all, this guy has been in and out of that same construction site over and over again and is a known thief. And again, he could have been just absolutely as innocent as just trespassing. Let's say he never stole anything. No, not Ahmaud Arbery. Didn't steal the gun, didn't break into cars, had no intention of stealing anything. Just trespassing, and it just seems weird, and people are uncomfortable with it, and you're technically not allowed to do it. So this could have been a minor thing, like, hey, Ahmaud, could you not go into there? Like, what the fuck are you doing in there, dude? Don't go in there. That could have been it. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's still an overwhelming amount of evidence that this guy needs to be questioned by cops. This is the guy they're looking for. He's been perpetrating in this neighborhood for weeks and weeks. So it's still totally justified to apprehend this dude. Again, what he did or didn't do is irrelevant in terms of, the shit he stole.
I don't know about you guys, but if you ever see someone walk onto a construction site, my first reaction isn't grab the freaking shotguns.
Hear that?
Grab the guns, boys. We gotta roll out.
You grabbed your gun because you think that the home invader might have a gun, which we already know is the case because Travis McMichael called 911 and told them, I saw this dude reaching for his hip. Now, he might have been pulling his pants up because he wore them very low, but he was constantly reaching. He reached in the 2017 incident where he was driving on a suspended license. He's reaching into his pockets. He almost got tased for it. So if a dude is reaching around, acting sketchy in that manner, yeah, very safe to assume he has a weapon. So if he doesn't have a weapon, so be it, but his behavior suggested he did. And so Travis McMichael knew that that was a very real threat. So if you're going to go out and make a citizen's arrest, it's very smart to bring a weapon. Well, I mean, what are you going to do? Go out there with a BB gun, or just, hey, I got some handcuffs here. Hey, mister, I'm gonna pop you one. I mean, we could go video after video looking at citizens' arrests. There's one where a black guy arrests some white dude, I think, who was trying to break into his car. And he was like some undercover cop, and he pulls out a gun, and he's like, you ain't going anywhere. Sit right there until the cops show up. Does anyone have a problem with that? Oh, but you're telling me some white guy's just going into your car? He's just walking into the car, just looking in the car. What's wrong with that? He didn't take anything from the car. He's just walking into a construction site. Yeah, the guy went to the car. It was shady as fuck. The undercover black cop looked at it and was like, this dude's trying to fucking rob me. And he's definitely suspicious. And I'm going to pull out my gun because I don't know if this guy has a gun or not. I mean, he's a criminal engaged in a criminal act. It's kind of a good assumption to think he might be armed. So yeah, they are trying to defend their lives. And so in that situation, the black guy points the gun at the white guy. He actually goes to the ground, follows orders, and goes prone. Cops come, he gets arrested. Now imagine if that white guy had sprung up and reached and lunged for the black dude's gun, and then the black dude shoots him. What do you think I would say about that case? Oh, the white guy's innocent. White guy wasn't doing anything. This is black racism. No, because I'm not a bitch and I'm not a chump. Goes back to what I said earlier. Honesty and integrity. So I would say it's the white guy's fault. He reached for the gun. He was clearly perpetrating, but Devin, he didn't take anything from the car. He didn't steal the car. But yeah, he walked into the car. It's not his car. So the car owner had every right to be suspicious and to call the cops. You understand? Are you following? God, these are tests, people. Remember we had pop quizzes? Life gives you pop quizzes in the form of, high-ranking stories that rise to the surface and become international news. That's a chance for you to test yourself. I just went through puberty.
We're not gonna Dukes of Hazzard this.
Ooh, that's a white slur. Dukes of Hazzard? What's wrong with them? Aside from the fact that they believed in Southern heritage and they had a Confederate flag on their car. You tell me Boss Hogg is a racist? Boss Hogg had a lot of black friends.
We're not gonna Dukes of Hazzard the situation and roll up on him in my posse.
Just the good old boys. The posse was an ex-cop, like a fresh ex-cop who was concerned about his neighborhood. Not really a racist monster, more like a normal concerned citizen.
I don't think normal human beings.
You're getting bitch slapped here, pal. You know that, right?
Think like that. Maybe he does. I don't know.
A guy who had been routinely invading homes and robbing people, robbing cars, robbing houses in that neighborhood.
Now,
by the way, I challenge you to an MMA fight or a boxing match. Come down to Rio and let's set it up for charity. COVID. How about that? Although a lot of COVID down here, and I've had COVID twice, so you might not want to touch me.
Mind you, okay? Remember what he just said. I want to play it again for you all.
Routinely invading homes and robbing people, robbing cars, robbing houses in that neighborhood.
Routinely robbing people, robbing cars, robbing households in this neighborhood. Okay, so let's look at an article here. This is by the Daily News.
He comes prepared, y'all. Dude got Google searches and shit.
No burglaries were reported in the neighborhood where Ahmaud Arbery was killed, contradicting the suspect's claim.
That's a flat out lie. That's obviously a lie. There's multiple 911 callers mentioned that there had been problems in the neighborhood, that there had been break-ins. Travis McMichael had shit stolen. A car had been jacked. And the problem with this is I have documentation, and we're about to go through it.
Now, no robberies or break-ins
What the fuck? We saw him break in over and over again.
have been were reported to
And here's the thing. This is the paradigm he's living in. Unless you report it to the cops, it never happened. So, hey, unless you reported it, it didn't happen. So that's bullshit. People don't report everything, for starters. But in that neighborhood, it was common knowledge. That's why they were all up in arms. Larry English, the owner of that house, he knew that there was fuckery going on in the house. And it was concerned. And they knew that one of the people was a black guy. There was a white couple who'd went into the house once, and he called the cops on them. He was suspicious about them. So this is over a period of several months. That neighborhood had a lot of criminal activity. You are simply wrong.
to the police since January 1st, which is more than 7 weeks before the shooting.
7 weeks. Wow. 7 weeks passed? Wait, so there was a burglary on January 1st, and somehow we reset the counter? What does that even mean? Something happened in January, and then a dude is coming in February. He's acting like there's a 10-year gap between January and February.
Shooting took place on February the 23rd.
Yeah, when was the other incident with Travis McMichael, where he confronted and saw Ahmaud Arbery? When did that happen? Because it did.
Not only that, Arbery was never connected to any of the robberies.
Of course he is. If he had been caught, he would have been arrested and charged with burglary. That's what would have happened. And they would have used the security cam evidence, and it would have come to pass. Now, whether or not he was guilty, again, it's not the most severe crime in the world. So all of this could have been a very uneventful news event. Guy arrested, might have robbed a place. Even if he did, it's probably not even that big of a deal. You know, it's not Grand Theft Auto here.
Or break-ins that happened before January 1st. Atheism.
See, impossible to say. Atheism is
Unstoppable is literally just making this up. He's spinning he's weaving a web for his viewers.
I'm like Charlotte's Web. I'm just spitting it out of my sphincter.
To think that these
Right, there's nothing. You guys, black people don't commit crimes. What was I thinking? You know, yes, everybody in the neighborhood saw a black dude committing crimes and reported it over and over again to 911. And we have video evidence of it. But disregard all that. Nothing ever happened. Never happens. The guy was innocent. The guy was random. The guy was a jogger.
disparate incidents that happened in this neighborhood is connected to this one black guy who may or may not have been in the neighborhood before, who entered
It clearly was a neighborhood. That was his neighborhood.
the construction site and then left.
And again, larger point, none of this matters. So the only question you could have is, was it justified for the McMichaels to suspect that this man was engaged in criminal behavior? And the answer is 1,000% yes. 1,000% yes. So no, we don't know if Ahmaud committed every robbery, every report from that neighborhood. Of course we don't. We'll have scattered pieces of evidence. We'll have that video footage. We could have, if he was alive, we would have grilled him and, heard what he had to say. But we know he's a liar. There's footage and evidence of him lying in the past. But it's just not true, man. And I'm going to open up a document, and it is a PDF. And not this one, because that one disproves my point. I'm just kidding. This document is every 911 call in the neighborhood for the past while. So from, what is that, August? October? August? I'm not good with the, I don't think I have it memorized. I have to be like January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. Yeah. All right. So, suspicious was called in. Now, you could go and track each of these things. Not all of them are going to be young black male, but a lot of them were. A lot of them were. So, there was a follow-up to that case. This is all the same case, standby. So, this is protocol for when a call comes in and they sort of send people around for patrols and follow-ups. Neighborhood patrol called in. There was an issue. They wanted a VIN inspection. I guess that's a car thing. Neighborhood patrol, a wanted person. Interesting. Warrant issue. Neighborhood patrol, neighborhood patrol, neighborhood patrol. Okay, so they are concerned, and there are things that are not, that are shady, that are curious in their neighborhood. They're calling it in. Traffic hazard, that probably wasn't Ahmaud Arbery. A problem person. Welfare check. Suspicious, suspicious. This is what's happening in this neighborhood, y'all. Welfare check, that's not Ahmaud Arbery. That's like some dude's newspapers were piled up on the front door, and they're like, I think this guy might be dead. Fraud, suspicious. Noise, animal welfare, suspicious. Welfare check, extra watch, neighborhood patrol. Unconsciousness, that's probably a drunk guy coming back from the bar. Oh, wait a minute. Why can't I go forward? That's weird. Okay, it goes on. Citizen assist, theft, entry to auto. That was on 12/8. We have a car break-in. I wonder who did that. Interesting. Dead open. Oh, that sounds sketchy. Suspicious, follow-up, noise. Noise complaint. That's an easy one. Theft, entry, auto. A different one, and that's on 1/1. Interesting. Wonder who did that. Neighborhood patrol. Suspicious. Problem person. You want to dive into all these? Why don't we talk to the people in the neighborhood? Of course, they're all going to be silenced because they have a lynch mob after them now, ironically. But if you talk to any of the people, they tell you what's what. This is just the breadcrumbs, the obvious trail of evidence as to what is happening in that neighborhood. Trespassing. Who was that? Suspicious. Noise, neighborhood patrol, and then homicide on 2/23. And that's Ahmaud Arbery. So clearly there is a track record here of shit going on in this neighborhood. And they have eyewitness testimony seeing a young black male on multiple of these. So this is obviously why these guys were concerned. Why, when they saw Ahmaud Arbery walk in and trespass with, it was very reasonable to think that this dude is trying to rob this place. And we have a long track record looking for a guy that looks exactly like this.
Don't bring Dukes of Hazzard into this. I definitely will. The good old boys are rolling up with their shotguns in a truck. Come on now. Come on.
And by the way, we can go into another doc. Larry English reports. This is the reports from Larry English personally. Called in right here, Larry English. And he had issues, and it was like, here's one. White male, white female are on the property they might be stealing. He called that in. They were there a few minutes ago, and then they went under the garage, and he said, I think they're still there because the camera didn't go off again. So it was a motion detect camera. And he's like, there might be a couple of sketchy meth heads in my friggin' house. And so that was researched, and I guess they never found them. And here's one. They're in possession of a large boat. Some guy came in there and he had a boat in there. And then suspicious, someone. This guy's getting motion detector notifications on his phone. He doesn't live around the area. Okay, and here's one. Oh, you didn't mention this. Caller is advising that there's a black male wearing no shirt and light-colored shorts with tattoos. He's on the property and he's not supposed to be there. Offender was walking around under the carport looking around. So walking into this place, whether it's being renovated or not, at nighttime is worth calling the cops for. Very suspicious. Easily could have taken something. They do this in South Africa all the time, by the way. They take raw materials. They're looking for anything. They will look for anything. This is a trend. If you're unaware of it, you're ignorant, and I feel bad for you. And then he says, caller is advised that we had the same issue with this male about 3 weeks ago. Incredible. So the same black dude is in the place. He's been in over and over and over again. You don't think it's justified to call the cops on that guy? To be concerned about that guy? Of course it is. So, yeah. What is this one? Yeah, the guy's calling the cops all the time. But those were the key and interesting ones. A black male with tattoos down both arms, curly hair, shorts and sleeveless t-shirt. He appears to be drunk or on something. I mean, how does this guy go? There's no evidence. There's nothing. There's nothing. Why? This guy was just random. There's no reason to be suspicious. I mean, this guy was a wanted individual.
So he's literally just lying. He's lying here.
What?
He's lying.
So he repeats, he's lying, as if to convince himself. Like he's just unaware, stupid, ignorant, and just desperate to have this story go a certain way when the reality is usually grim. If it's something sounds too good to be true, it usually is.
None of this. He has no clue.
No clue?
If Arbery stole anything. The cops have.
Yes, we have huge clue, huge probable cause, tons of suspicion, and just worthy of arrest, worthy of a trial, easily.
Even been able to put that together. No one knew who took those things.
We have eyewitness accounts that he was in places he shouldn't be in, and yes, he's been seen in the area. This man is a person of interest. Sorry.
So, once again,
he is a suspect. I mean, the guy's like, you don't have proof, definitive proof. That's not how the law system works. The question is, should he have been a suspect? The answer is yes. The reason? Evidence.
What does this come back to? It's most likely just profiling. It's
and by the way, yes, what he says, racial profiling.
Most likely just racial profiling.
Of course it is. Of course. But it's for a reason. It's not just random racial profiling. It's we saw a black dude break into a house. And then, hey, Ahmaud Arbery looks like the guy we saw breaking into a house. So the fact that he's black and we're looking for a black guy, if you want to call that racial profiling, actually, no, it's not. It's not, because I think technically racially profiling is saying, I suspect this guy because he's black. And that's not the case. We suspect Ahmaud Arbery because we are looking for a black guy. And we're suspecting a black guy not because it's not on a whim, it's on eyewitness and video surveillance witnessed evidence. So that's not racial profiling. We are looking for a black man because a black man committed crimes.
Filing.
And there's there's a way out of left field chance that Ahmaud Arbery isn't the guy they were looking for. Turns out that's not true. He was the guy they were looking for. But let's say, for argument's sake, that he just looked like the guy in the surveillance videos. Even then, it's still rational to suspect him, and it's still rational to question the guy. I mean, sorry, bad news for you. If you look like a guy we're looking for who's committing crime, like if I'm in Brazil and they're looking for a 6'3" bald white guy in this area, and they're like, hey, you happen to be a 6'3" bald white guy. Am I going to throw a freak out session and be like, oh, this is racial profiling? No, I'm going to show understanding and be like, oh, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
We're going to get into that. Talk more atheism. Go ahead.
So they are acting in
atheism is my first name now?
defense of their neighborhood, their possessions. They're being terrorized. And they finally go, oh, that looks like the freaking guy that we've been looking for. Okay, so the root of all of this is...
Go ahead. Go ahead. Listen.
You guys, this is the gotcha. This is where he gets me. And I want you to say, I want you to realize that in all of my time on YouTube, I've never been gotten like this before. It's a very disturbing oversight on my part. I was clumsy with my language, and wow, he gets me bad. And I'm almost wanting to stop the stream right now because this doesn't reflect well on me at all. And this will probably be clipped, and it's going to be one of my lowlights. It's going to be the gotcha. It's going to, go up on all the fucking drama sites, and Keemstar is probably going to cover this. This is embarrassing.
I want everybody to stop what you're doing and listen. This is the most important part.
Guy that we've been looking for.
This looks like the guy that we've been looking for.
Okay, so
Yeah.
the root of all of this is black crime.
And there it is, boys. And there it is. He said it. I'm so glad he said it, so I won't have to put the pieces together for anybody else. He's done it. He just thinks that being black is a crime.
We're now going to sit in silence for 20 seconds. Okay. How can I explain how malignantly retarded that statement was? Loser. When I say the root of all of this, the root of the Ahmaud Arbery story is black crime, I'm referring to the fact that they were looking for a home invading, trespassing, menacing, suspicious looking dude in their neighborhood who wasn't supposed to be there. They had a string of robberies and they saw a guy breaking into homes. That guy was black. That's a fact. We have video surveillance, we have eyewitness testimony. That is why they detained and tried to put under citizen's arrest Ahmaud Arbery. That's why this case happened. The origin is black crime. That man just took that sentiment that I said and tried to transform it. Hold on, let me try to get a little sound effect. It's pretty good. Into, it is a crime to be black? Hold on, let me get the words.
Together for anybody else. He's done it. He just thinks that being black is a crime.
Being black is a crime is the latest steel man coming from this dude. Hey, Devin, point blank, gun to your head, be honest. Do you think bleeing back, black, okay. Do you think being black is a crime? Be honest, Devin. I want honesty. Oh, fuck. I know what I'm supposed to say, but oh, God, I want to say yes. God damn it, I want to say yes. No. I'm going to say no. Being black isn't a crime. And when I say black crime, I'm not suggesting it's a crime to be black, you frigging asshole. I'm suggesting that a black man committed a crime, often and loosely referred to as part of a larger phenomenon, black crime. Okay? It's legal to be black in America. Have you heard the good news? Let me come and spread the gospel. It's called the Emancipation Proclamation.
Look at that. Look at that.
So, at home, do you think he actually thinks I think that? It's a hard sentence to follow. Do you think that he legitimately thinks I think it's criminal to be black? And that if you see a black guy, it's probable cause, you might as well just arrest him. And we're arresting him based off the fact that he's black. We're not arresting him or detaining him based off the fact that we know a black dude has been robbing in this area, a young black male that fits this dude's description. Does he see a difference there? Does he understand the difference? So again, I'm asking, is this maliciously, is he lying intentionally, or is he just stupid? Interesting question. Doesn't really matter, but it's a fun game to play.
Look, he's done it. He did it for me. He did my job for me. Look, it's
What job?
just racial profiling. That's all this is about.
What? So again, the key words, random guy. We're supposed to think Ahmaud Arbery is a random guy, has no attachment to any of these cases. There's no reason, no justification why you'd want to stop and talk to Ahmaud Arbery. The only thing that he cares about, and this goes back to the obsession of black people, their need to feel special, their need to have the world revolve around them, is that he's black, and it's his blackness that's the reason for anything, and it's racism, and everything that happens to a black is we blame racism for it. So yeah, I mean, it's just absolutely pathetic that he's trying to call this racial profiling.
It was just they said they were robberies in this neighborhood.
Yes, and we know who did it. It's not just they were robberies. It's that we know a black guy is the guy we're looking for.
3 months ago.
No, continually over a long period of time, a variety of different crimes. You know, neighborhood watch, out and about, suspicious people, trespassing, auto invasions, home invasions. Happened over and over again, pal.
And this black guy that I've never seen is just walking
No, they had seen him, and he's not just walking; he's jogging. Remember, he's a jogger.
around.
He's not just walking around. He just got out of a home that he wasn't supposed to be in. Bust his ass for trespassing. You're going to the clink, pal.
So it must be him.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't must be him. It's, is there a good reason to think it is him? And the answer is yes. And this is how the system works. It's not up to Travis McMichael to determine this. It's if there's a reasonable, and this is in the statutes of citizen's arrest. You have to have a reason. You have to have evidence. And they did. And so they would have taken it to the cops, and then the cops take it to the courts, and the judges and a jury and whatnot, they determine if it must have been him, if it was him. Okay, so it's totally irrelevant. They're trying to be like, well, let me determine if it was or wasn't him. And they're running a trial for Ahmaud Arbery, and it's totally beside the point.
And so they grab their
And by the way, he's guilty as fuck.
guns, hop in the truck, and chase him down the block.
Yeah, just the good old boys, never doing no harm. Listen to the lyrics.
So apparently just living outside is because it
He said living outside is a crime. What are you talking about? First of all, he wasn't living outside. He wasn't homeless. He lived with his mama because, 25-year-old guy, of course. So yeah, again, yeah, just being black outside is a crime, guys. There's nothing connecting anything. There's no reason. And again, he's in a state of intentional blindness to the fact that black crime is an just absolute atrocious trend in our country and beyond. And beyond. If you want to talk international, I'm more than happy to. Let's go talk crime rates in South Africa whenever you want, buddy.
doesn't even matter if Aubrey went onto the property or not, because
What?
Because when McMichael called, because when Michael
Feminist Games is now following. Oh, I gotta screen cap that. Look at the audience. See that? Feminist. That's either a total pussified male simp or a woman. And he likes this. He's like, this is good. Yeah, the black guy didn't do nothing.
McMichael called,
McMichael
he
called.
didn't even report any crimes.
That's insanely stupid. He was talking. This is a weird tangential nothing point they go off. So on one of the calls, by the way, McMichael called multiple times, and on the other calls, and both McMichaels, by the way, they said this guy is committing a crime. Okay, we've seen him. He's breaking into a place. He's not supposed to be there. It's potential burglary. We'd like to question him. We'd like to sort this shit out. Let's search him. If we could have detained him, we would have searched him. And it's trespassing. And it's shady. What is he doing in our neighborhood breaking into houses? But on one of the 911 calls, they go, yeah, we got a guy. He's in this house. And then now he's running. And then this guy is distracted. He's trying to find this guy, chase this guy, like not let him get away. And the 911 operator is like, what is he doing wrong? Like, what did he do? And she starts suggesting, the guy is like not even hearing her. And he's like, well, he was breaking into a fucking house. This is a home invader. That's the obvious implication. And he would have gotten to it later in the call. He probably did. But the 911 operator was just like unclear. Like, is he, is he holding a gun? Is he shooting people? Is this domestic violence? Like, what is this? And he was busy commenting on the guy running away. So the conversation, he was distracted. It's not like he couldn't answer it. He'd be like, oh, we're worried about burglary and home invasion and trespassing. Those are the fucking crimes.
Being done. Look, we can listen to the calls. Also,
Yeah, play
Feminist
the fucking
Games.
calls.
Thank you so much for the.
And this dude, this young African-American guy, is gripping to the idea that blacks don't commit crimes because it doesn't reflect well on them. It's a fucking embarrassing. It's a disgrace to our country, the stats that that community puts up. And so he is trying to will into existence the notion that blacks don't commit crimes. Would you like to go over every stat ever recorded on crimes in our country by demographics? Ahmaud Arbery could be the most innocent Boy Scout angel in the world, and it's still overwhelmingly true that black people commit more crimes. I've been saying it for 6 years now because no one else had the balls to say it. And I took the accusations. This guy's calling me a fucking racist. For what? Because I'm aware of truth? Shit.
For the follow, really appreciate it. Hearts in chat. Hearts for Ahmaud. Listen.
Hearts for
Poor boy.
Ahmaud. Hearts for Ahmaud. Poor boy. Po boy. Oh, he probably was poor. That's probably why he was robbing the place.
I feel bad for
Like
him.
he tried to rob that 65-inch TV.
I ride my bike around my neighborhood all the time.
What?
That's really disheartening. But we can
I ride my bike. Good for you.
we can listen to the calls. Because the calls really do set it up for you.
What? Listen to the calls. How about read the reports, the criminal reports called into 911 from Larry English and from the Neighborhood Watch, from Travis McMichael. There's a list of 911 shit going on. And obviously not all of them are attached to Ahmaud Arbery, but a huge chunk are, where they're like black male spotted doing shady shit in our community. And we have robberies. Anyone want to connect these dots? Definitely suspicious.
Thank you so much for that, Feminist Games. The calls really do set it up for you of what happened.
Yeah,
right.
This is so crazy.
So
This is
we're not,
absolutely
once
crazy.
again, we're not going to be watching the video, but listen to this. Okay, so there's a guy in a house. Calls 911. There's a guy in a house.
Yes, the implication is it's not the homeowner, it's a random dude in a house that he shouldn't be in. Okay, it goes without saying that's a crime. Now, the guy is heated, his adrenaline is pumping, and he's watching the criminal run away. Okay? So, but because he didn't mention the exact criminal activity, he didn't like spell it out like, oh yeah, sorry, 911 operator, he's breaking into a home. We have had break-ins and robberies in this neighborhood, and he is trespassing and he is potentially a burglar. Those are the crimes. But because this 911 caller didn't mention it randomly on this call, because he was otherwise occupied commenting on the guy as escaping, that's proof that he didn't commit a crime? What the fuck? How stupid are you, Black Vosh?
Address or that house's address?
Right at 219 or 220 Villa Drive.
And you said someone's breaking into it right now?
Yeah, breaking into a home is not legal.
No, it's all
That's a crime.
open. It's under construction.
Right, so he didn't break in as in he broke a window because, yes, it is under construction, but it is still a home. It's not just a bunch of 2x4s. It's a freaking home, and it has things inside of value. Okay? And it's also just, again, highly suspicious. If the guy's going in there looking for whatever the fuck he's looking for, just being a petty thief, punk, then so be it. Take your slap on the wrist, get, your probation or whatever you're going to get from the courts, and stop doing it, Ahmaud. You're sketching everyone out. That could have been the end of the story, but he was volatile, he was aggro, and he initiated a violent assault on an innocent man.
And he's running right now. There he goes right now.
Right.
So this is what he saw. He saw a guy
Breaking into a home.
walk onto a construction site.
You could try, that is so pathetic. Just tra-la-la, walk onto a construction site as if, no, dude, this is a home. He entered the home. He's snooping around. He's casing the joint. It is ridiculously suspicious and worthy of calling the cops on. Come on, man. Like, I live in a gated apartment complex here in Ipanema in Rio. The other day, we had a guy break in. The alarm went off. We have barbed wire around the gates. Okay, we have high security. There's tons of sketchy ass dudes out there. So there's a break-in. I get a call from my landlord. Hey, we had a guy break in. Just letting you know. Oh, but what? He just walked into an apartment complex. He just walked into a construction site. What's the big deal? He's not supposed to be there, you jackass. What the fuck do you think he's doing? Use your brain.
called the police. What crime has he committed besides
trespassing, breaking and entering, home invasion? I mean, I don't know the technical terms. He is a potential thief. We are concerned about his motivation for entering a home that isn't his. You don't think that's a legitimate concern? Again, that is all you need. A ton of evidence to suggest this guy is worthy of questioning and investigating.
just your average trespassing? Nothing.
Huh?
Because none of this in these calls
So somehow in this guy's world, he thinks that one random 911 call is going to determine whether or not the guy's guilty. And it's up to the caller to list out the legal violations of the guy. And he already did. He goes, "We got a guy breaking into a house." Ta-da! There it is.
One of these calls, does anyone who has called, connects Arbery to a felony crime?
I see Arbery breaking into a home. And by the way, who cares if it's felony or not? What does that have to do with anything? So if a guy commits a misdemeanor, you're not supposed to call the cops? Retarded. Just one point after another of just total retardation.
Which, mind you, is what you need to do.
No,
you
don't need a guy to be committing a felony to put him under citizen's arrest.
Is what someone has to be doing to initiate a citizen's arrest.
No, that's incorrect. You're a moron.
You can't just start chasing people. For one, you can't just start chasing people.
Yes, you can chase people.
And two, you have to have immediate knowledge.
They did.
Or see them
They did.
commit a felony crime.
No, not what do you mean felony? That's insane. So if anyone out there knows if breaking and entering into a home is a felony or not, you tell me. And you tell me if it has to be a felony to put someone under citizen's arrest. I strongly doubt it.
To detain them for criminal for a citizen's arrest. That's what has to happen. None of this has connected Arbery to any sort of crime that would
aside from the fact that people saw him committing a crime and then immediately called the cops. Multiple people, by the way.
Warrant them looking for chasing them down. For one, chasing them, that's crazy. Can you even imagine?
No, it's not crazy at all.
Imagine watching someone.
You know what's crazy? Breaking into someone's home and stealing their shit. That's crazy.
Who's actually committed a crime, right? For one, also they thought he was armed because he put his hand in his pocket.
Yeah, because a guy breaking into homes could easily be armed. What are you supposed to trust criminals? Give them the benefit of the doubt? Of course you should suspect that they're armed.
They thought he had a gun because he put his hand in his pocket. Okay.
Yeah, you reach for something in his pocket.
Okay. They also talked about that.
Yep.
Imagine going through this guy's head, thinking what this guy is thinking.
Totally valid.
I see a person.
And by the way, he was armed. And again, that's going to come out. Whether it was a hammer or not, what's his name? The dad, McMichael, told him, drop it, drop it. What do you think he was talking about? Drop it? Drop your pants? I'm pretty sure Ahmaud Arbery had something, a weapon in his hand. Otherwise, why would we have audio of the guy going, drop it, drop it? Think.
They're black. They may or may not have done a crime. I don't know. I'm going to get them anyway.
Oh, here's the racism of the ignorance. Racism of the gap. Yeah, let me get inside the brain of someone who sees a black person and then tries to apprehend them. They must be racist.
I think he has a gun, so let's chase him.
No, it's not. I think someone has a gun. Let's chase him. It's this guy. We saw him break into a home. We've had a rash of break-ins. We've seen this guy before. This is the guy on the video surveillance. We're looking for this guy. We have every right to detain him and arrest him and question him. And we assume he has a gun. And that's why we want to defend our lives. And it's smart that he did, because Ahmaud Arbery was about to assault. He chose to assault these people. And they had to defend their lives.
Excuse me? Okay.
Okay, what is he doing?
What is he doing?
Breaking and entering. That's the first sentence of the call.
Running down the street.
Yeah. He's running down the street now after he was breaking and entering. So he's out of the house now, and he's running away from what he had just done. And this guy's looking at this like, look, See, he's just running, and now they want to attack a guy for running. So stupid. The miscommunication there was they said, she goes, what is he doing? And she was asking, like, big picture, what are we here for? Is this guy, like, what is this? He's setting fire to the house? Is he an arsonist? And he said it in the first sentence. We got a guy breaking into a house. But he responded, what is he doing? Now he's running. Now he's running. Before he was committing a crime breaking into a home. And this guy, this douchebag, is sitting there going, see, he just said he was running. That's not a crime to run. Stupid ass.
this
Yeah, if you're just at home and you're not sure if you want to speak and think publicly in real time, don't do it. It's not for everyone. This is the deep end. This is the grown-up table. Okay. If you try, and if you come at me, you're going to be shamed, and it's going to be hideously embarrassing for you.
I bet, honestly, I promise you the dispatcher probably thought this was a freaking joke. She's like, hey, we got to get someone for like clogging up the 911 lines. There's probably someone being like,
yeah, she thought it was a joke. That's why she immediately contacted the cops, and they arrived.
like being dangled off a bridge somewhere or something. And this guy's like, what's this guy doing? Running down the street.
Yeah, you conveniently forgot the part at the beginning of the call where he said, we have a guy trespassing and breaking and entering into a home that's not his.
There he goes.
Yeah, you forgot that part, but I like that. You clip out, you isolate. At one point, he said he was running. See, that supports the jogging narrative, I guess. If you just conveniently forget everything that happened before.
See, he's running.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. I'll get them out there. I just need to know what he was doing wrong. Was he just on the premises and not supposed to be?
And he's been caught on the camera a bunch before at night. It's kind of an ongoing thing out here.
Right, ongoing thing out here. Ooh, so a local guy saying it's an ongoing thing. We've had break-ins, we've had robberies, we've had trespassers, and we know this guy by his look. We literally know how this man physically looks. This is the guy. So he explained it again, even though he explained it at the very beginning.
The man is still in the house. He's got heart issues. I think he's not going to finish it. So.
Okay, that's fine.
Also, there are a couple like problems with the transcript.
And you said it was a male in a black t-shirt?
Whoops. We're going to reverse it. He's parking out there. It was supposed to be he has heart issues. So he's not talking about a crime.
What?
Right?
He is. I mean, how could you be that dense? What part of it? I mean, go back to the beginning of the call. Why do you think he called in? The first thing he says, there's a guy breaking into a house.
Besides trespassing.
Besides a crime. So besides a crime, he's not talking about a crime. Yeah, it's suspicion of burglary and trespassing. What more do you want? Does he have to be fucking raping household pets?
He's called the police because someone's walked onto a construction site
Maybe
a couple times. Because we don't even
maybe a couple times.
No, we don't even know if it was it
was him.
They're gonna play like a video. We don't even know if it was him.
Yes, we do. It was him.
In those multiple instances where they thought it was.
It was him.
So
and again, it doesn't matter if it's a guy that looks like him. It's the justification you need to detain a man and question him.
Just go through this guy's mindset. It's just wild to me. Imagine thinking you're like,
I mean, is this guy blissful because he's so ignorant? His brain doesn't have the capacity to understand everything that he's fucking up right now.
The law now. This guy's a retired cop and he still thinks he's the law. No matter what happens.
Yeah, he's a concerned and responsible and trained citizen who's not just going to sit there and let people break into neighborhood homes.
I think he needs to be taken off the street. Like, this guy's insane.
Okay, that's fine. And you said it was a male in a black t-shirt?
That white t-shirt. Black guy, white t-shirt.
So this whole thing, not once has referenced a crime that has been committed.
It's not weird how he could show that thing that easily and obviously contradicts what he's saying here. And he goes back to it. He doubles down. He's like, see, no crime. Aside from the breaking in to a home and the eyewitness account that this is the same guy that has already broken into this home multiple times and he was trespassing. So aside from all of those crimes and all of that evidence that this is a guy that needs to be detained and questioned, he did nothing. and there's no reason to have tried to detain him. I mean, is this not self-refuting? Why do I have to come in here and push this over and just...
And atheism is unstoppable.
Barely made it that time. Could barely say it that time.
Is now pushing that being black in the neighborhood was suspicious enough.
Well, if you're looking for a black guy, black male, a young black male in the neighborhood fitting his body type, yeah, that is enough. They're looking for that guy because they have evidence that that guy is committing crimes in the neighborhood. I mean, that's avoiding the other obvious point, which is they literally saw Ahmaud Arbery breaking into the home that day.
For you to be detained by citizens willy-nilly.
Willy-nilly!
That's the
Is that a nickname for Willie Nelson? That's like the hip-hop hood name for Willie Nelson.
reason we're here today, folks. Anyone want to dispute that
You're always on my mind. You're always on my mind.
there's a black man robbing houses in that neighborhood? You don't think that's the reason everyone's alarmed?
Well, also, I will dispute that because no one knows who took that. Because what he's referencing
We have video evidence. How many times? I mean,
is that there was a break-in
yes.
and McMichael had a gun
Multiple break-ins to the same home and also cars.
stolen from his car.
Yeah.
And those were the robberies and or break-ins that
And there's many other incidents, as I showed you.
were referenced 7 weeks
No, it's constant over the past multiple months.
before this encounter.
Who cares, by the way, if it's 7 weeks? What do you think that point proves? There was a break-in 7 weeks ago, and then this happened, and then he breaks into a home 7 weeks later. I mean, if it was just those two incidents, what do you think that proves?
With Arbery, right? That's what's being referenced here. Not only that, no one has been found in connection
They just did find him. They caught him in the act. They found their man, and they were about to bring him in.
to those break-ins or robberies.
That's the whole process that was playing out. We were about to find the guy who was breaking in, and it was going to go to trial, and he was going to be found guilty, and it was going to be a minor offense, and it would just be added to his criminal history.
And
By the way, did you guys know that 33% of black people in America have a felony on their record? 33%. The overall average, all races included, 8%. But in the black community, 33%. And that 8% is 8% because of the black community.
so he has no clue who's been doing this, right?
What?
So
They have every clue. They have literally video, dude, video.
step one,
It's like, imagine if we had a Zapruder film of Lee Harvey Oswald shooting Kennedy. Multiple angles. Like we have this, and we're like, man, there's no evidence that Lee Harvey Oswald shot Kennedy aside from the video. Aside from that.
literally racially profiling this person.
Nope.
Step two, just
No, you're not.
believing some black person has been robbing this neighborhood.
What do you mean believing? It's based off the evidence that they saw a black person doing this.
When he has no evidence for it.
That's just
If
a
this
lie.
isn't
It's
right,
just stupid.
what this is like the definition of racism.
No, you are the definition of buffoonery. Got him. Got him. Called him a buffoon. Get wrecked, son.
What are you doing? Can you even imagine putting out this video?
Imagine putting out this video. God, just getting debunked hard by this fucking Zoomer.
And being like, yes, me, the arbiter of truth here.
Yes, I am wise beyond my years. I use common sense. This is all very basic. This is like 101 stuff, ladies
He's
and gentlemen.
spinning this weird web to have all the people who watch this video
Huh.
lay down their racism.
What? Yeah, guys, it's a racist conspiracy. And I mean, at what point did they shoehorn in racism here? They're so cunty. They're so self-indulgent with their idea that everything that happens to black people is racism. Even when they're perpetrating, they're the ones victimizing other people, assaulting other people, robbing other people, and we all have to deal with that fallout. And then when we do, it's racism again. Something happened to a black. Enough of that bullshit, man. It's fucking just cowardly and pathetic. Are you proud? Are you proud of that narrative?
to a nice comfy bed, so they won't feel bad about it.
Guaranteed that that's true. Whether it's Ahmad, it's actually irrelevant. It probably is him. But even if he's just a guy who looks like the guys breaking into the homes, even that is an understandable reason to be suspicious of the dude. So that's why these guys decided we're going to get our guns. And the reason they got guns is because they thought that maybe the perp was armed. A very logical thing to think. But they said, let's go put him under citizen's arrest. And in the state of Georgia, you are allowed to put people under citizen's arrest. In the state of Georgia,
Fact.
you are allowed to own guns.
Fact.
You're allowed to open carry. These
Fact.
guys were all
You can't just put random people under
Random people. He went back and doubled down on random person after all that has been discussed and that is out there, available publicly. He's still calling this guy a random person. I mean, is that even worth breath to refute? Is that?
citizens. You can't just walk around
I mean, how is that not self-refuting? That's why I asked that question. How does he have the gall to say that stupid shit?
with rifles and then just detain people because you feel like it.
Yes, you know, it's not because you feel like it, it's because you have a good reason to do it. And they did. They had a good reason to do it, as we've just discussed.
We have like laws. There's language in the laws.
Yeah, oh, there are? It's not just carte blanche to arrest anyone for no reason because you feel like it. Again, who are you arguing with? What kind of fucking straw man is that?
You can't just like walk up to some random person.
Random person. He's hitting it. You guys catching that? Random person.
And be like, I am putting you under a citizen's arrest. What are you talking about?
God, it's embarrassing. This guy does not have a
Go
future.
100%. Listen to this guy's logic. So robberies. This is the weeb. This is
the weeb he spins.
We'll go through this. This is the web he's been
Weeble wobble.
weaving. There were robberies in this neighborhood.
Yes. Okay. We know more about it than just there were robberies, but okay, continue.
We saw a black guy.
No, we saw a black guy performing the robberies.
So we chased after him.
No, what? There were robberies in the neighborhood. We saw a black guy. No, we have video evidence that it was the black guy committing the robberies. You missed that part. Shucks. Darn it.
To try to detain him.
Look at this douchebag. Looks like an early Oprah Winfrey.
Is anyone going to deny like that's just what he said?
So, okay, he's suggesting, let's take it off black people. I know, how dare I take the focus off black people. Let's say Travis McMichael and his father went out one day. They knew there were robberies in the neighborhood. I mean, it's undeniable. Things were missing. They had evidence. There was, alarm systems were triggered. People were sketched and they were on guard. And they knew that that was the case. Then one day they saw a Korean woman, my fault. Korean woman was running down the street, just jogging. And they said, there are robberies in this neighborhood. I see a Korean woman. Let's go get our guns and arrest the Korean woman and call the cops on her. And then someone might say, why are you detaining the Korean woman? Well, because I think Korean women are prone to steal. It's just kind of you could call it a stereotype. Some might call it racist, but I just have a thing about Korean women. I think they're sketchy. And then the person might ask, well, is there anything connecting a Korean woman to the robberies? And you say, no, nothing whatsoever. So you're just going off a hunch that it is the Korean woman who committed the robberies. Yep, that's all I'm doing. Now, he just suggested that. That is the case with with Ahmaud Arbery. Watch. That's exactly what he just
Chased
said.
after him, leaving.
Watch.
100%. Listen to this guy's logic.
Here's the logic. Watch.
So robberies. This is the weave. We'll go through this. This is the web he's been weaving. There were robberies
Am I weaving the web or spinning it?
in this neighborhood.
Robberies in the
We
neighborhood.
saw a black guy.
We saw a black guy.
So we chased.
So it's all. The language is very specific. Robberies in the neighborhood. We know nothing about the robbers. We don't have any video footage or eyewitness testimony about who is robbing. And then black guy in the neighborhood. So if you believe that we had no knowledge of who we're looking for, and then you jump to we just detained a random black guy, then, that would seem a little bit weird. Yeah, that would have to be justified. but it's just not true. It's kind of a roadblock, isn't it? I would think that's a firewall or just like a hurdle that you'd have to clear. Like you're peddling something that's obviously not true.
After him to try to detain him. Is anyone going to deny like that's just what he said?
Oh God, and he laughs like he's made a point. Oh my God, I'm actually grabbing the bridge of my nose.
Yeah, I mean, hate crime. What I'm not sure.
Hate crime.
It's definitely racially profiling
What?
because he has absolutely no clue if Arbery committed any crime.
They saw him commit a crime. They saw him previously commit crimes. They have video footage and eyewitness testimony. The guy who called the cops had seen this dude prior committing crimes. It's the same guy.
Whatsoever.
Whatsoever.
He has no
Nothing.
clue.
Nothing.
You can't put him under a citizen's arrest like that.
Yes, you can.
All licensed up and totally legal. So they were engaged in a legal activity. And people come in with the bullshit of, no, you have to have seen the crime in action. They saw highly suspicious behavior. They had probable cause.
Imagine stretching the laws out this far. Can you even imagine stretching the laws out this far? Well, officer. Well, officer, I may have just gunned down someone in their home, but I did watch them pick up a knife in their house.
What? Did you see that fucking fail of an analogy? Wait, I mean, the fact that he would, in that analogy, you have a home invader going to someone else's home, seeing them pick up a knife, and then shoot them in their own home. What's the moral of that story? Don't break into other people's homes. What did Ahmaud Arbery do? Broke into someone's home. I mean, they saw him commit a crime. That's why they went out to detain him and called the cops. How could you not understand that?
So, under the stand your ground law, under the stand your in the castle law.
Oh, and now you want to talk stand your ground? That's the defense that should be used. I'm not sure if it is applicable in Georgia, by Travis McMichael. He had to stand his ground. He was attacked and assaulted by a guy who went for his gun. It's the most classic case of self-defense in the history of self-defense.
I did have to snipe him from my second story window.
Snipe him? So you're saying Travis McMichael sniped Ahmaud Arbery? I mean, that's the only reason why you would have made that analogy. You're equating what Travis McMichael did to a sniping of a guy in his own home? No, Travis McMichael had to wrestle for his gun from a dude who was sitting there punching him, who assaulted him. And it wasn't in Ahmaud Arbery's home, and no one was getting sniped.
I had to protect myself. I saw highly suspicious behavior. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
I can't believe he just brought up sniping and compared that to what we saw in the video. That's just, I mean, we're going real low with the IQ. Like this is, I mean, I don't know where we are on the bell curve, but shit.
Well, take this man to jail. Take him to jail. Whoa, he's crazy.
Hey, Black Vosh, you're stupid.
He's crazy. My man thinks atheism is unstoppable.
He fucked it up again.
Thinks that this guy is Batman. He thinks he's Batman.
Steelman me again. Yeah, he's Batman. No, just a citizen performing a normal citizen's arrest. They happen all the time.
Greatest detective on earth. He saw it. He's gonna hit him with a batarang.
Yeah, it takes a real true crime detective to see a dude breaking into a home that isn't his and then running away and realize that that guy's probably up to something that isn't kosher. Yeah.
It just got a little out of hand.
Didn't get out of hand. He defended his life from Ahmaud, who was aggressive and filled with testosterone, and decided to attack him, and that was a stupid decision, and now he's dead.
And they had prior footage of this guy, and they called the cops. So they're just trying to not have this guy get away with it again. Am I in favor?
Again, he has no clue what he's done.
Yes, he was in a home he wasn't supposed to be in, and there have been robberies in the area. Rounds. I mean,
there's no evidence.
You know what's crazy? Like, as many times as I've repeated myself here, because this guy's such a clown and so clueless, he doesn't know the first fucking thing about what actually happened here. Get ready to repeat these things that I'm saying for the next 10 years or forever. I mean, this guy's in the pantheon of non-victim black people that are just victims of racism. So the wider world, the women out there, the pussies out there, the far left, they all think that this guy got victimized. I mean, Joe Rogan thinks so. Fucking Biden thinks so. LeBron James. I mean, Kim Kardashian. You name it. So for as simple of a case as this is, and it's so easy to figure out what happened here, we're going to have to go to battle on this over and over again. I mean, they're still saying that 43% of blacks think OJ is innocent. In that world, what percentage think Ahmaud Arbery is innocent?
That this man stole anything.
Of this brand of community justice? No. Am I in favor of guns? No.
I don't care. He's
I don't care. Okay.
he's literally trying to justify murder because
It's not even remotely close to murder, and it doesn't need a justification. You're trying to justify an assault from Ahmaud Arbery on an innocent man who had to defend his life.
he was black. That's it.
Because he was
That's
black?
the only thing.
Yeah, because he was black. It's all racial, guys. Totally. Everything's about race. Race has nothing to do with this. Sorry. The only thing it has to do with this is the idiotic byproduct of your hysteria and obsession with race that we have to cut through with a machete to explain it to you and hold your hand because you have a fucking brain of a hamster.
That's literally it. Because he has been not connected to any crime.
Of course dude, the guy had a massive criminal record. Give me a break. It wasn't massive, but it was definitely in existence. The guy was a punk and a thug. He was a rapper. A rap. He was a black Eminem. And we saw him. I witnessed him commit multiple crimes on video.
Yet
Not connected to a crime. I saw 2 of them that day.
he's not been connected to any crime. None of the McMichaels knew about him being connected to any crime.
They saw him. They saw him do it that day. They saw him do it prior. And they know. They've seen the video footage. They were in talks with Larry English. They know. They were tasked with the job of protecting the friggin' house because there's so many break-ins.
He was just profiled and then shot.
Fucking retarded.
Yeah. You aren't gonna see me chasing
Look at this douchebag.
someone
He's
down as
reading
a
it.
job. Oh, 100%.
So some guy has a concealed firearm permit, and he's not going to go chase anyone down. Okay, well, you're not socially conscious or community security conscious type of dude. Okay, you're not part of the neighborhood watch, whatever. You're just carrying your gun because you're scared of, I don't know, home invasion, whatever. And you think that's the job of the cops? Well, lucky that the McMichaels called the cops. Lucky that the McMichael was a cop. I mean, they were in talks with the cop. It's not like these people were vigilantes and trying to work outside of the system. They called the cops. They were trying to assist.
These people are crazy.
Nope.
They're insane.
The only time you ever draw a firearm is in a life or death situation. Yeah, kind of like when you're apprehending a criminal, a home invader, or how about using your gun when a guy's reaching for your gun, trying to wrestle your gun away from you, and is punching you in the face. Is that a good time to use your firearm?
No one should. And I don't even care even if this didn't result in someone dying or getting hurt at all, and the police just came and then Arbery was like, let go. These people should still be put in jail. Like,
What?
we can't have people.
They should walk. They should have a vacation, paid vacation.
We can't have gun-toting maniacs
Gun-toting
chasing down
maniacs.
people on the
God, you should be arrested for slander.
street, like vigilantes.
I'm going to put this guy under citizen's arrest for slandering the McMichaels.
They think they're Batman and Robin, you know,
Batman and Robin are not father and son duo, so your analogy is false.
just in the Batmobile hunting down people because they think they might have maybe been connected.
I like how he's like, you think you're Batman. Batman was fighting crime. Batman was justified and was right. You know what Batman's beef was? Criminals. So if you're trying to label him as a guy who's concerned about criminals, that's not really a slur, is it? It's kind of a badge of honor.
To a crime at some point 2 months ago in the past because they haven't seen them in the
Devin, the later series, The Dark Knight, he was not concerned with the crime of Gotham. He had other issues that he was wrestling with.
neighborhood before. This is not okay.
Do I think just random guys like this should be out there escalating conflict with criminals? No.
Okay, so that point I just made spoke directly to what he was saying. You know, you can't have guys going out there, these are maniacs. And I say, me personally, I don't think they played it right. I don't think that they should have escalated. by getting out of their car with the gun. So maybe take the guns, maybe follow, maybe pursue, maybe stay in contact with the cops, which they were. They were calling the cops. That was the better way to play this. Let the cops deal with it. But this point will sail over his head. He will not give me credit for this point, even though that point is exactly in line with what he's saying. Watch. I just like totally melted his brain.
Once again, with criminals.
Yes. Yes. First of all, he's a criminal. That's a known fact. Second of all, it's a suspicion of criminal activity. And they have so much of it, it's overwhelming. So nothing has to be proven in a citizen's arrest. It's reasonable cause. And they had it.
Trespassing is not a criminal offense.
Yes, it is. Are you that dumb? Are you going to die on that hill? Breaking into a home, yes. Trespassing, it wasn't just like he was hanging out on the driveway. He went into the home and was casing the joint. They probably robbed some shit.
Could have done this better. They could have not stopped the car, gotten out with the shotgun. They could have just stayed.
Oh, actually. Ooh,
See
this
that?
is not. We skipped this. We skipped this part. We don't show that part.
He made a choice. He brought
He just
fast twitch muscle fiber to a gunfight.
Oh, he just went back into my video.
Fight.
Fast twitch muscle fiber.
Oh, here's another gotcha, guys.
Now,
So I make a joke about a guy, the stupidity of a guy who's totally unarmed, bum rushing a dude with a shotgun. That is moronic. So I say, I express that in a whimsical way that the dude brought fast twitch muscle fiber to a gunfight. That's a joke.
let me talk to you all for
We're
a
going
second,
close up.
okay?
Jeez, this is important.
The fast twitch muscle fiber meme
Yeah, this is a meme, guys. This is a real dog whistle. Hold on.
is a meme against a meme
Against?
amongst race realists.
Race quotation mark. A race realist. Wait a minute. This guy, you have a black couple on a poster behind you, fucking doggy style. Are you a black man? I mean, I know your skin is sort of having a mutiny on you, but you're highly confused. Are you black? What do you mean by I'm black? What does that even mean? Are you part of the black community, a historically black college? The NAACP, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People? What are these things, Black Vosh? Are they real? Are they social constructs? What are we talking about here? I like how I have to suffer the burden of this wannabe gotcha label of I'm a race realist because I accept that there is such a thing as races. Meanwhile, every person of color, by fucking definition, they accept that there's race. Why would they call themselves a person of a race if there wasn't races? I mean, what the fuck is this? Just insane that it's so bottom of the barrel when it comes to this. They have nothing. They're going off fumes here.
And race realists
Okay, here we go.
are people who believe that
Tell me what I believe.
they're people who believe that, there are
Yeah.
fundamental differences between
Yes.
people of like different skin tones.
Yes, it's not just skin tones. I don't have hair like yours. I don't have internal organs like yours. Not all of them. I don't have susceptibility to disease like you do. I don't have the same muscle density or, like I said, fast twitch muscle fiber. I don't have the same nostrils as you do. So it's not just skin tone. I don't have the same elbows as you do. I don't have the same life expectancy, that same brain. I come from a totally different bloodline that has been separated for hundreds of thousands of years. And you know what we call that when you've been in isolation breeding for hundreds of thousands of years? Differences. Oh, we definitely are different, and it's not just skin color. That's like a kindergartner take on race. Good Lord.
So
And let's say it was just skin color. So it's literally you just paint a dude a different color. It's like a white person who's tan versus a white person who's not tan. I mean, they share the same bone structure, facial features, everything else. That is still a difference. And if we want to put a word to that difference, then I'm a that realist. I'm a skin color realist. Is that fair? Yeah, skin color realists are people who think that there's differences in skin colors. Yes, I do. And by the way, it goes way beyond just biological differences. Cultural differences, massive historical differences, society or social differences. Big, huge, big difference, sad.
So as you can see, Nigerian runners.
Why would he go to Nigerian runners? It's Kenyan runners, you fucking loser. Have you ever been to Africa? My middle name is in Zulu, and I have I'm 3 generations deep, balls deep in South Africa. And my family is deeply entrenched in the celebration, preservation, and practice of African music. World famous. So don't talk about fucking Africa.
They have this fast twitch muscle fiber in
Do you know where the Gambia is? The nation state known as Gambia? I do. That is the weirdest flex of all time.
their legs, which makes them especially apt for running.
No. First of all, runners from Nigeria don't have special muscles in their leg. It's not even about that. It's about the elevation of Kenya, you tool bag. And it's about the lung capacity. Because the runners who win distance running events don't have a lot of muscles. They have good cardio. There are people from West Africa, of West African descent, like Usain Bolt, who do have fast twitch muscle fibers and who perform better in sprints. So there's different advantages to having different muscular structure. I mean, yes, this is all true.
Long distance races. So he's saying he brought fast twitch.
Why is he quoting fast twitch muscle fiber? Like it's a mythological thing. It's a conspiracy theory. There's only one kind of muscle, people. Devin made that up. Now I have to bear the burden of explaining fast twitch muscle fiber to this fucking loser?
Muscle fibers to a gunfight. He teleported onto this dude.
Yeah.
Moving at supersonic speeds like the Flash. And
this guy is definitely a geek. He references Batman, the Flash. I mean, what is going on?
And then tried to use his like judo moves he learned in karate.
No, he just grabbed a gun like an idiot and got shot the fuck up.
In his Asian gang down in Georgia.
Why you bring Asians into this, or judo? And I don't understand.
To quickly disarm him and then kill them both, like he's playing a battle royale game.
Battle royale game? What a Zoomer reference! Oh God, get me out of here.
That's what he did.
Get me back to my Nirvana music video.
And it didn't work. What do you know? It was a terrible choice. If he had stopped, he would have been detained. And the cops would have come, they would have questioned him, they would have found that he was highly suspicious, they would have probably had a very good case against, because what was he doing? Listen to the 911 calls. And the cops
please let's listen to the 911 calls. Okay.
How does he think the 911 calls helps him or his case? How? Just friggin' madness.
So what is he saying?
They would have found that he was highly suspicious.
So the cops would have come. They would have questioned him.
Yes, the cops were on their way.
They would have found that he was highly suspicious.
Correct.
That he entered a construction.
Day and night over and over again. Yeah, that's what we call highly suspicious, worthy of being arrested. Correct.
A construction site, and then left a construction site. And
he left at some point. Yeah, wow.
And then, boom, Ahmaud Arbery would have been found guilty of every robbery that has taken place in this.
There's a very real chance, yes, that you could have connected these dots, and he would not have a good explanation for this. And like I said, I mean, it would have been relatively minor. It got escalated, but yeah.
State of Georgia, for the last 18 years, he's just so mad that they weren't able to take him in alive. This perp, they could have found it all out. He's the modern day Jack the Ripper of
Jack the Ripper, right? So now he's minimizing home invasion and robbery, right, and assault, by the way. No, he's not Jack the Ripper. He's not a murderer yet. But if you want to talk about murder stats in the black community, I'm here. I'm your Huckleberry champ, because black people kill more people than anyone else. It's not even fucking close.
This Georgia community just going around robbing places apparently while not getting caught for months.
Correct, and he's been caught before robbing, but yeah, he got caught again. Actually, that's why we're here talking about this, because Ahmaud got caught.
They would have probably had a very good case against, because what was he doing? Listen to the 911 call.
Yeah, what was he doing? Let's see. What was he doing?
Okay, first sentence. Yep, guy in a house. Guy in a house that's not his house. That's called a crime. That's what he's doing.
Okay, do you have your address or that house's address?
We're gonna skip over this a little bit.
Yeah, we've already heard this. Move forward.
What is he doing? Fine, I'll get them out there.
This video obtained by the Georgia Bureau.
He was doing.
This isn't our
Right, let's see.
I saw Phil.
So once again, like the operator asked several times
All right, this is boring. I've already gone over this.
left. Like if it was him those other times, he did the other times. He just walked in and left. A house was being built across the street from me for like a couple months.
Oh God. here we
Me and
go.
my friends walked in there all the time. I wanted to see what it was like.
What?
It was a cool house.
You walked into a construction site? You should be arrested. Arrest your fucking ass. What do you know? Hey, black crime isn't a big deal because I commit black crime. Ta-da! Great argument.
Also, they don't leave anything in there. Like, what do you... Miss Dispatcher, as you can see, you didn't use your omniscience to peel through the phone to watch.
Okay.
Have dreads, so it's most likely not him. Is what we're coming out now.
Oh,
But
it's another person who's a black criminal then. If it's not him, and if it is, so be it. And the point, again, I've made a million times, they looked similar. Very similar enough. Height, build, age, skin tone, gender.
to AIU, all black people are exactly the same human being.
Steel manning like a mofo, dude. All black people are the same human being. Mm-hmm. Cool. Didn't I just do a video where I'm talking and highlighting the greatness of Michael Jordan and Michael Jordan's father? There's a security guard that works at Chicago, the arena, the basketball arena, who befriended Michael and became a father figure to him after the death of his father. That guy's awesome. Died of cancer. Kobe Bryant. I fucking can't say enough amazing things about Kobe Bryant. Now, they don't all have to be basketball players. There's people outside of that, just average, everyday people. It's harder to discuss them because people don't know who I'm talking about. So I tend to go to celebrities and known people. But yeah, there's a world of amazing black people out there. I'm fully aware of it. I love Coleman Hughes, Glenn Lowry, John McWhorter. Incredible, fascinating, intelligent, insightful. Just I'm fans. Like what? I don't know. It's just us people on the right. We have our way. Oh, should I talk about Obama now and how my love for Obama?
Track down numerous videos of what all appear to be
Also,
the same
my
man
right
walking
ear is
through
really
his home
enjoying
as
this
far
right
back
now.
as October 2019. Here's a side-by-side of the final video of the site and the
Be taken.
All right,
Fight.
let's see.
McMichael. He's been a law enforcement officer for decades.
Stupid
Hunted down
shtick.
and killed. It's just listen. He just
Tiresome.
can't handle Neutron style.
How people are running
Was that a John Travolta impression?
for a mod, and it's this virtue signal, and people are running 2.23 miles. I don't know, because there's some significance with the number.
He keeps playing the video. He keeps playing the video over and over again. So I have to stay on the. Maybe it's like better for everyone because we don't have to see his. You guys don't have to suffer through seeing his disgusting, ugly, blinking kangaroo avatar in a t-shirt.
Okay, I think that's basically the end of that because when the insults get to you have a kangaroo that blinks, it's time to check out. That's wild. Now, let me engage the chat real quick before I wrap up and go on with my life. Hello, chat. I'm here to engage momentarily to hear your thoughts and to react. Yeah. Hi, Devin. Disgusting avatar. Exactly. It's up to Van. Devan, my new name's catching on, apparently. Hello. What's up, Bobby? Some blue states require a felony for citizen's arrest, but in Arbery's case, the only requirement for citizen's arrest is witnessing a crime, any crime. Okay. Problem solved. And I don't have a full grasp on what is a felony and what isn't. We can both react. We can react to each other. Marino, Devin tried to hug me. I know. That's a true story, by the way. Marino, I did try to hug him, and he questioned why we were hugging, and it's very awkward, and he really called me out in the moment, and it's embarrassing. Where to find the guy? I just did a search on Atheism is Unstoppable. Super Chat's back? I thought they were back here. If not, I am horrified and disappointed. Yeah, that sucks. Loved the last video. Thank you. I hope you did. Thoughts on the person who recorded the video getting charged? But yeah, that's fucking crazy. I can do a video on that. I mean, that is such a reach. First of all, the two other guys shouldn't have been arrested. Like, they showed the video, and all the local cops were like, "Oh yeah, it's self-defense. Like, you guys can be on your way." And that's what should happen. They should be let off free, and we should have a riot. There's going to be a race riot, which is unfortunate. But yeah, a guy filming this is it's absurd. That is the biggest nothing case ever. The guy should sue the state. My opinion is shit because I blink. True. Yo, just graduated pharmacy school. I didn't even know that was possible. You'll be getting a new patron soon. Well, cool, because apparently I just did a whole stream and I don't have super chats. And what the fuck is that? Rue Avatar's Alpha. Devin, look up Demetrius Townsell Jr. and compare it to this case. Nobody cares or even knows about. Interesting. I will. Demetrius Townsell. So many other cases to look up. It's very interesting. As for the guys choosing to chase him, the police recommended that they call these two guys, as they were both former law enforcement. Right. I mean, they weren't just total scrubs. It wasn't just like people that didn't know their way around law enforcement. The dad is a retired cop. The son is a former prison guard. Yeah, I mean, these guys were definitely capable. I think this guy saw you make Karen famous, and he thought it was a good idea to try. Yeah, but this guy has no redeeming qualities. He's not hot. Karen is hot. She goes by Ruby now. Christy Smith lost. Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, it is a purple state, or district. The vote was split. She didn't get the vote out. I don't know. She lost pretty significantly too, so it's not looking good in that district. To tell the truth about the black community as a black man requires more than just inner strength necessary to face the truth, but the communal consequences as well. Yeah, same thing as religious people. A bunch of religious people stay in the closet because they're like, look, this is not a battle. I don't want to just have to suffer and deal with this crap. Yeah, I'm not even posting to BitChute. I have no idea who's doing that. But past a certain IQ threshold, it's about courage more than intelligence. Right, you need courage to do it. You know, I question if that man has the intelligence to understand where he's wrong. You know, it's like a person who tries to sing and they don't know that they're off. They're tone deaf. But that's all the difference in the world, to know you're tone deaf or to not know you're tone deaf. I think the dad is saying Travis, not drop it, but everything else is spot on. Travis? How does Travis sound like drop it? No, I'm pretty sure he's saying drop it. Oh, I'll go listen to it again, but sacrificial lamb is the guy being charged. I know. It's totally. This is all like public court of public opinion. And it's all just part of this connected chain of events going back and back and back. All the race riots, yeah, there's a major problem in America on race. Glad I don't have to deal with it. I feel bad for everyone who's in America who has to confront this every day. Maybe Black Vosh doesn't consider trespassing on a construction site too because he's also black. Could it be a black thing? Explain a lot. I mean, it's unfortunate for them. The law is the law, no matter what color you are. Who is the more alpha beta Peterson between Jordan B and Jesse Lee? Oh, please. How dare you even suggest? Goes without saying. Stephanie in the house. There's other videos I want to do. Obviously, it's late, and I've been on this for a while. So I'll rejuice the batteries and come back harder, stronger. I will rebuild myself. Fan meetup? There's never been a fan meetup. The homeowner says no crime was committed, and it seemed... Oh, here we go. This guy's aggressive. And it seemed like Arbery was using a water tap. What do you think of that? I think that's a ridiculous suggestion. First of all, it implies that the guy doesn't have water, couldn't bring a bottle of water, or was so parched that he needed. No, you see the video. He's looking around the place. He's investigating. He goes there over and over again. He goes there at night. He's not there jogging. And Larry English is getting death threats by Sean King and his mob of people. So he's trying to downplay and play the white ally. And what do you mean there's no crime? Why would he call 911 if there's no crime? He called 911 twice on the same black male. Clearly there was a crime. If you're saying nothing was stolen, nothing was burglarized, okay, fine. He broke into a home, trespassed, cased the home, and then decided nothing was of value to steal at that moment. You think that's nothing? Is that register as nothing to you? Clearly it's not. So sad. I mean, these people pick the worst fucking people to uplift and hold as like, this is a shining example of our community. What are you talking about? Devin, do you think these guys will get railroaded? It's very, very likely. It depends on the jury, I guess, or the judge. But they could easily think, look, let's just satiate the mob. Let's not do this. Because it goes back to the Rodney King case. I mean, those guys, they got a just punishment. I mean, first of all, there's only a couple guys that did anything that could be even construed as excessive. And they didn't get off scot-free. I mean, they were punished, but the narrative was, oh, they got off. Everyone got off. Like they didn't get the electric chair. So it's just all an emotional, illogical reaction. No $sign next to chat box. Yeah, I got nothing. Nothing for me. And apparently everything I do and all of my efforts and time invested in these things does not get compensated. And it's just a free service, you know. Don't worry, little on me, I'll be fine. Yeah, the water tap, that's creative. Yeah, it's just like when Simba goes to the watering hole, he's not trespassing on the watering hole, is he? Come on. I subbed to ATL News Channel and they posted that a caravan of protesters was going to the neighborhood. Wow, we're going back to the 90s soon, my friends. Yeah, we're on the verge of bloodshed for sure. Because again, like I could explain all this calmly and succinctly and with great detail, but it doesn't matter because you're talking to someone's emotions. It's like talking to a horny guy or a hungry guy. Imagine talking him out of being horny or hungry with reason. It's not going to happen. It's going to be trumped by the horniness and the hungriness. And it could culminate in American Pie, where you fuck a pie. So thanks for the Eurovision thing. Now I keep listening to Little Big videos. Don't know if I hate or like the music, but the videos are good. Yeah, I've heard that. I haven't heard any other Little Big songs, but I've heard that there's some good ones worth checking out and investigating. Yeah, Eurovision has some fun stuff. You got to check it out. Yeah, everyone's getting death threats. Are you kidding me? That's a huge factor of this. So it's, again, a pros versus cons. It's like cost-benefit sort of analysis. You got to think, what is the advantage of me being principled on this? Or do we just, for everyone else, by the way, you say, look, I don't know these 3 white guys in Georgia. Like, fuck them, let them burn. Why put my name, my reputation to defend them? Why should I risk my social currency and take a hit? So some guy in Georgia kills someone and now I am feeling adverse effects of that? I'm being called a racist? Huh? Because I'm aware of the laws of Georgia. I'm aware of what self-defense is. That's ridiculous. Yeah, donate to my PayPal or Venmo. Venmo is cool. It's quick and easy. And links are on all the descriptions and all that. Yeah, apparently I've been demonetized from this channel too, which kind of blows. So I have no channels that are monetized. So I can't really stream anywhere. I could start a new channel, but no one will watch. It's just the way it goes. PayPal, yeah, there's that. And then I think I have it set up. I think I have Streamlabs set up. And if you donate on Streamlabs, it actually comes up on the screen. But it's never happened because no one has ever donated to me. So cry me a river. Devin, come to Toronto as soon as you can. You tip the scales from me being a minority to a majority. Yeah, I'm hearing Toronto is less and less white, but still a lovely place. And they seem to get along a lot better than other diverse cities I've seen. Do you think your emotional black on white crime might be clouding your judgment on this case? My emotions about black and white crime? No, not in the slightest. I've even made the point today. If the situation was reversed, I feel the exact same. What does that tell you? This is a pathetic attempt by this guy's a bitch, by the way, probably a virgin, for you to project. So you realize that this is the exact thing that's happening. The emotional element of people not liking the optics of, a white person killing a black person, even if it's completely justified. They're just like, oh, no, slavery bad. And he tries to turn it around on me, even though it's so limp, it's so pathetic, because there's no basis for this. I've told you a million times, if the Central Park Five were 5 white guys, I'd be against them. I mean, one of them is, or 2 of them are Puerto Ricans. I'm against them. This is not some vendetta against black people. I'm just aware that black people commit a ton of crimes and get overlooked. They get a free pass. People put on the baby gloves. They treat them like babies. It's ridiculous. I'm against white criminals. Okay? Would that please you for me to list off a bunch of criminals I'm against? The people involved in the Charles Manson murder, I'm against them. Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer. Beyond serial killers, I'm against meth head drug addicts who go and rob and kill people. I mean, why don't you and I sit down and go through the last 1,000 murderers in America, and I'll condemn every one of them. And then you and I will have a serious adult conversation about how 53% of the people we listed were black, and that they make up 13% of the population. And that if you factor in the age of these people and the gender, it's more like 3%. So 3% of the population is committing 53% of the murders. Is that emotional, or is that just a reasonable thing to be alarmed about? Clearly it's reasonable. What do you think about the MJ versus LeBron GOAT debate? I mean, I side with Michael Jordan. It's a ridiculous and petty conversation. They're both great players. I would throw Kobe into that mix too. I'd throw Magic into the mix. When people are different positional players, it adds a level of confusion to it. So, what is LeBron? A forward? I mean, he's built like a power forward. I guess, he has the skills of a shooting guard too. So, but he's 6'8", 260 pounds. Michael was not. They played a different style of game in a different era, different competition. It's a pointless thing to say. It's like saying, which of the 2 times you were kissed by Scarlett Johansson was the better kiss? It's like, who gives a shit? They're both great. End of story. Dylan Roof, never forget Dylan Roof. Dylan Roof, terrible guy. Muffins or cookies? Okay, this is getting ridiculous. All right, I'm going to leave. And I thank you for coming. And a small forward, 6'8" is not small, so you've been debunked. And chat with you guys later. Bye-bye. Thanks for all your super chats that didn't exist.